Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Powered by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. I don't ever get to watch Bluey. I want to know what Bluey is.
Bluey's great.
You don't want to know about Bluey.
Yeah.
What's so wrong about Bluey?
Because that is all Reese is watching now. There was a time that Jenny and I were like, please watch Bluey. It's actually really fun.
Yeah, I can't get my kid to watch it.
Yeah, finally he turned the corner, and he turned the corner in a big way. That's all he wants to watch now.
We'd really like to sit down and
hammer
out some Bluey, but we can't.
Yeah, I just need a timeout from Bluey.
Settle
Hunter,
down,
Bar Rescue is tough to watch with no sound.
Yeah.
I guess Castaway isn't really, because there's really no sound in that movie.
Yeah, there's a long stretch.
We were watching Castaway on Friday. Oh, look, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Go back up to Bluey. I can tell you what. It says, go right there. Go back to Bluey. It says, Bluey and Bingo called Nana to ask one major question. Bingo finds her big girl, Bark. I know what that question is. She wants to ask Grandma if grandmas can floss the dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Important.
That's how many times we've freaking watched Bluey.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like,
are you going to die?
Do they die? Yeah.
No, not that. See, but they try to make you think that.
We got Roseanne
in the description.
We got MASH. We got
that was a good Roseanne.
Dan. The Big Show.
Stupid Big Ten Network. I hate this conference.
Why?
I hate the Big
Why
Ten.
do you hate the Big Ten? We might have 12 teams that finish 6-6
on college football playoff reveal day.
Point that?
Point proven.
On week 3 of rankings reveal day, you're supposed to be Team Big Ten.
That's the problem. I have to pipe up for the Big Ten because we can't let these SEC idiots get away with this.
Or as Gary calls them, honks.
Honks.
We had Danny Cannell going to bat for the Big Ten yesterday.
I know, and that's a horrible place to be in.
Well, yeah, what an ally.
Horrible place to be in.
First time anyone's ever called Danny Cannell an ally.
They can't do much for the ACC right now.
Because there's nobody on national TV that's a Big Ten guy that's willing to speak up.
Look at what we have done. Look at what we have done.
In what part of our country?
In the entire country. In college football, the sport is ruined.
What?
The sport is ruined.
No.
Now we give the SEC honks all the power to talk about how the SEC is better than every other conference and blah, 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 because they don't play and the Big Ten doesn't play
given Saturday, anybody can beat anybody.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Indiana's playing a bunch of cupcakes all year long.
Yeah, you tell me that record's undefeated. It's not really. Well, sorry. It is.
It does. I think Indiana's a good team. It does not help their cause that they're an 11-point underdog.
No.
Because then you're like, even Vegas thinks that they're, they benefited from a schedule. But I asked Nick this, and Nick made a really good point. If Indiana wins at Ohio State, shouldn't they be the number 1 team in the country? Ahead of Oregon? No, Oregon would be like number 2.
No, they should not be ahead of Oregon. No.
On the road in Columbus, 11.5-point underdog, unbeaten, they win. That's my case for
Indiana. And the great Indiana story,
1.
too.
Oregon beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, but they did that in
But
Eugene.
Was Oregon favorite?
I believe Ohio State was a marginal favorite.
Yeah. Okay. But that was in Eugene. This would be in Columbus.
On the road. People are doubting you. And Signetti says, Google me.
I know. I would hate that so much.
How does he say it again, Connor?
Google me. Google me. Go Steelers.
Hey, so I brought up a quote from Matt Rule at Big Ten Media Days, when he said 10-2, 8-4, when we go to a bowl. That's what we should start to do around here with the 18 coaches. Is go back and
start throwing stuff in people's face.
No, go back and go, okay, this is what they said in late July in Indianapolis. This is what is actually happening.
Well, look at Deshaun Foster.
How it started, how it's
Came
going.
to fruition. They still are in Los Angeles.
Yep. We're
he
in
did
LA.
not lie.
It's
spot the truth, spot the lie.
Yep, the 2 truths and a lie.
Although maybe we want to kick USC out of Los Angeles at this point.
Well, they play. They play this weekend.
Yep.
And Deshaun Foster's done a better job coaching than Lincoln Riley.
Don't they have Oregon and Washington to finish? Or
no, USC has UCLA and then
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Oh, Notre Dame. Yeah, they're not going to a bowl.
Ooh.
UCLA is going to beat them.
Who do you have more faith
they
in?
Could.
Nebraska or USC making a bowl game?
Oh, USC.
Nebraska.
Wow, okay.
Tougher schedule for USC. but there's history of the two
How
teams.
could I
that
have
not
faith in either of these teams?
We got to pick one. That's the fun part.
Shut me
Should we just add Wisconsin in there too? Just toss Wisconsin in the call.
Because
Okay.
Wisconsin's got what, Minnesota? to end?
Wisconsin's got Minnesota.
That's right.
Yeah, at home, I believe. Nebraska's got Wisconsin at home and at Iowa.
Well-
One of those teams will win.
Okay, so Minnesota will be coming off playing Penn State this weekend, and it's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
Everything's a rivalry game in the Big Ten.
Yes.
Oh, Nebraska USC.
There's
now
an
the,
axe.
the new big rival.
There's a.
Didn't you hear that during the broadcast? It's gonna be
Oh.
a great rivalry.
I do like. I like the Nebraska USC
Yeah, it'd be
history
fun.
there. Nebraska's got to find one. Yeah, they haven't beat 'em.
I think going out to Los
Who-
Angeles every year will be a treat.
Who is it? Who would be the most? Who's the most likely to win one game?
Nebraska, USC, or Wisconsin?
Just by I guess by how the math works, like you have to pick one of Nebraska or Wisconsin because one of them has to win a game, right? But which one? They're both equally idiotic.
That's not the word I would have chosen, but I'm
They're
interested.
idiotic teams. Idiotic. I have no idea what any of them are doing. I guess it's Nebraska. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Notre Dame announces a home and home with Texas.
There we go.
Boom.
Okay, college football's back.
28
Never
and
mind.
29.
Okay, so here, let's play this game. And you're going to have to look at Michigan's schedule.
Okay.
So
Oh boy.
Michigan,
that's right.
Wisconsin,
Michigan.
USC, Nebraska, all are sitting on 5 wins.
Well, Michigan has
They
Ohio
got
State.
Northwestern.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so-
Michigan.
So Michigan, yeah, I
All right,
trust
we'll
Michigan.
keep Michigan out of this.
Okay.
But the fact that those are 4 teams that are sitting on 5 with 2
Yeah.
weeks to go,
Yeah.
that adds to your point. It's very competitive in the Big Ten.
It's a
It is.
stupid,
It is.
stupid. Look at what we've
Parody.
done.
Guys, it's such a dog eat dog conference. You
We-
just never know.
We did this to ourselves. We did this to ourselves. Stupid.
If Nebraska was in the Big Ten West, would they still be mathematically alive?
Well, if they'd be
no.
if they were in the Big Ten West, then their schedule would be different. So, but are we?
Yeah.
So are we just including the fact that they've played the schedule? but
just
they're
what
Yeah.
their schedule is compared to the
They-
other
they-
Big Ten
they-
West mates.
Crazy things could happen, and they could win 2 and be tied for
Oh, a
the
tiebreaker.
division title.
Oh, we could get the tiebreaker. Oh man.
Well, Oregon
would
would
be
be in the
nice.
Big Ten West.
Well, yeah,
Oh, we got to ruin our fun.
We'll go old. We'll go old Big Ten West.
Who do the Hawks
Oh,
play
okay,
this weekend? Oh, they go to Maryland.
Yeah,
They go to Maryland with
Yeah.
Cade McNamara back.
Yeah.
Fun.
Never know.
Illinois.
Loxley coaching for his job.
We know Illinois finishes with Northwestern. They also have Rutgers this weekend, so
Yeah.
they might be a 2-0 candidate.
Mm.
Nothing
Maybe.
says.
I don't
Would
know.
Illinois
Nothing
win
says
the
end
Big
of the
Ten
year
West?
get fired up for Illinois and Rutgers playing.
It's so
Oh, yeah.
stupid.
Both teams bowl eligible though.
Rutgers. Why are we?
Rutgers.
And then I look at the
We
Big
beat
12.
2 bowl eligible teams this year.
I look at the Big 12 and I go, wow, they're having so much fun. Anybody could win that. You know, they're
The
just
Big
off.
Ten, there's no hope.
They're just off in their own little world. You know,
Yeah.
Kenny Dillingham's like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to go 8-2 right away.
Yep.
I started Jeff Sims for a game.
He did.
8-2.
Don't go there. You're
Eight.
gonna walk a path that people are going to chime in on.
No, go ahead.
I missed the Big
I want to
Ten.
go
Dillingham
back to the
greater than
Big
Matt Rhule?
12. I want to go. I've long said this.
Okay,
I want to go back to
so
the Big 12.
You saying that, and I know that you're like 2% sarcastic.
Yeah,
and
just a
90%
just a
real.
very little. Yeah.
I got a couple of DMs yesterday. That people were like, "I'm hearing that the rumblings that Nebraska is going to go back to the Big 12,"
Dear God.
and I was like, "Not a chance."
Okay, that's not
I
happening.
love
Okay.
that.
Do you like money?
Nebraska will only go back to the Big 12 if you copy and paste this status in your Facebook page.
Nice, Josh.
Yeah, we're
Like and share, you'll magically get Nebraska back to the
Yeah.
Big
once
12.
once the 70 million started to come in, didn't we end that discussion about well,
I
people are thinking that Nebraska is going to make a run back to the Big 12. Get out of here.
It's not going to happen, but I want it to. Take me home.
because you'd have a chance to be more competitive,
Be-
or you miss the road trips.
Be getting ready for a huge spoiler Colorado game on Black Friday. Try to keep them out of the conference title game and out
Now-
of the playoff.
Now you got me interested.
Yeah.
of
Colorado every year.
Nebraska, Colorado on Black Friday.
They would have
That was
already
fun.
lost to Iowa State, probably. Probably lost to K-State,
What do you think about Kansas?
the rest of the North.
Would that have been Kansas's like first turnaround victory?
They would
after
have got, if they would have got Kansas early, you got a chance.
Yeah, you get
Kansas
'em late,
now,
though.
maybe not so much.
They're
Nebraska
on a heater.
football, who back in the COVID year would go anywhere to play anyone, but
Yeah.
now they're running away from the Big Ten.
I'm running away from the Big Ten. please get me out of this, or bring back divisions or pods or whatever the hell.
Aren't you excited about Big Ten basketball? Come on.
God, no. That's the worst part. That's
What about Big Ten baseball?
even worse. Somehow it keeps getting worse.
Well, you have
fun.
made the transition all to the Big East, haven't you?
No.
We're never going to get you back.
How could you
We're
like
never gonna
Big
get you
Ten
back.
basketball?
You probably sit at home on Saturday and watch old Big East football. You're like, remember when we had Miami, Boston College?
Miami and Vatek.
Those were
Remember
awesome games.
Remember we had Miami and Rutgers playing?
Yeah.
I
Yep.
did like those
On a
games.
Thursday, chances are it's on a Thursday night too.
I did like those games. Those were good.
I mean, I love the fact that I'm watching Jefferson Pilot and all you guys are trying to figure out what streaming service the Big Ten is on.
So stupid. Did you guys see UTRGV last
Yeah.
night?
Oh,
Hey,
I was pulling hard for them.
Didn't we say we need to buy stock in them now? They're going to be a
Kara.
tournament
Too
team.
late at this point.
They're going to be a tournament team. Hopefully everybody got on board after that Creighton game.
That was their first loss to a team outside the state of Nebraska.
Yeah. And it was
Last night.
another close call.
We
Again,
need
out of all three of those teams now, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Creighton, who handled them the best. Just saying.
maybe a
It's
future
probably
summer league
yeah.
team.
It was Nebraska.
it's probably Nebraska. Yeah.
It was Nebraska.
UTRGV. Okay, you got to type it in weird to get to.
Oh, you're looking at the
Ken
Ken Palm.
Rio Grande Valley. Yes. All right. So they did grab 3 wins in the meantime.
Good.
They beat
Good.
champion Christian Charleston Southern
Okay.
and Tennessee Tech. Those are all either Division II teams or 300 plus Ken Palm teams. But then they played Nebraska, Creighton, and Wisconsin each deep into the second half.
Yes.
I don't know. They're going to win the
What was the
Southland
what was the Texas team that they just played and beat? We were talking about this, I believe, on one of the
champion Christian.
Yeah.
The team we were talking about was the College of Biblical
Oh,
Studies.
that's right. It was the College of Biblical, which is
They
in
play
that-
them.
Yeah,
That's
they do
coming
play
up
them.
on the
Coming up soon.
21st. Of
Okay.
December.
So,
Yes.
you got to see Kansas City in
The
person. and
ambassadors.
They're built for the Summer League, not built to play Creighton.
Oh, Kansas City is not bad.
the hell did they do last night?
They beat Calvary
Yeah.
119-19.
Ooh.
Calvary
Oh my
shot
God.
They covered.
14% from the floor, turned the ball over 34 times. But what you
Oh
guys
my
don't
God. They
understand-
lost by 100.
Yeah.
Yes.
100.
A literal 100, not 99.
Yeah.
not-
So
99
Kansas-
is 100, but it's 100.
So Kansas City covered then.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, you have to understand that 2 years ago, Kansas City played 2 teams in the same day, and their point differential was like plus 107.
Oh my God.
But they played 2 teams in the same day.
They played 2 games on the same day.
Wow.
Yes, and they played like
When was
punching
this?
bag A and punching bag B. It was like 2 years ago.
All right, let me look.
Snowstorm coming and they had to get
Nope.
both in? Or
Nope, they scheduled them. We all thought, what the heck?
Was it like a
They
morning
scheduled
and
a double header.
It was like an 8 a.m.er and then like a 7 p.m.er?
They played like at 1 and 7, and they played like 2 biblical study
Same
Scientology schools.
Same roster both games?
Yep.
Or did they keep them pretty split?
Yep.
A team, B team,
Does Scientology have a squad? Do they have a school?
College of Scientology.
Yeah. College of Scientology.
Yeah,
Hey,
there it is. So
Oh, they
it
do?
was December
they might
the
have played the same team.
December the 19th, 2020.
Okay.
They played Kansas Christian twice on the same day and
Wow.
nearly won by identical scores both times, 95-36 and 98-42.
Sweet.
Picked up wins
Why do you
3
gotta play a team what do you gotta do a doubleheader?
and 4
What
It
is
was
this?
during the COVID year.
on the year.
Okay,
It was
okay,
during the
okay.
COVID
We
year.
lost a game to Kansas City during the COVID year.
So they played Omaha back to back
Yes.
days
Yes,
That's so
that's
weird.
the way they
in
did the
Kansas
schedule.
City. Yeah.
God, that's so weird. I forgot about that. Yeah. The back-to-back days.
That's so stupid.
Saturday,
is.
January 25th, UTRVG hosts McNeese.
Oh, here we go.
Mm.
Okay.
There you go.
Watch out.
Will
There you
Wade.
go.
Will
There's your
Wade?
Southland
Yes.
Conference game of the year.
Yep.
I mean, look at all the fans from Nebraska.
Game day better be there.
GV.
Seriously.
I mean, they should open up like a recruiting.
That's why you
Area
play
here.
those games.
Yes.
Get your name out there.
I mean, they hung out.
They're looking for guys who could shoot. We got them.
They're checking out your roster for portal guys.
I didn't know this school existed
They're like, hey,
30
Fred
days
King.
ago.
Like Fred King. Fred King can't shoot though.
Well, they need a
Fred
big.
King could shoot in the Southland. He can't shoot in the Big East.
I don't know. I
They need
don't
a
think
big.
Fred King can shoot in the
Is
Southland.
Fred
either.
King going to be able to give Kalkbrenner like a 5-minute rest in the Big East season?
That's no.
Not in the Big East.
No. Cockbenner, you're paying all 40, buddy. Get ready. Sorry. The grind starts now for our local basketball teams. Kind of. I guess Nebraska
Well,
has a couple.
Creighton does, yes.
Hey, don't overlook North Florida. That's going to be a big game. North Florida and Loyola of Chicago
Let's take a
are
look.
like two monster non-Big Ten games in December. for
Yeah, there you go.
Nebraska.
North Florida got a little.
They did get beat last night. North Florida got beat by UNC Asheville.
They've already taken down Georgia Tech this year. North
And-
Florida has, and South Carolina.
Yep. So they have two
Damn,
Power
okay.
4, Power 6 wins.
Uh-oh. I don't like that.
Is
But I would not be super comfortable relying on conference wins to get you into the tournament. So the margin of error for Nebraska with their schedule is they're going to have to win Friday night.
they're going to have to probably
Yeah.
win on Friday night.
They
Yeah.
won Friday night. That might put them in the NCAA tournament if they finish 500 in the Big Ten.
It would be a good
it'd
win
be a
if Creighton
big
holds
win.
serve. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they will.
Mhm.
I think Creighton will be at least top 4 teams in the
They
Big
got a
East.
14-6 or a 13-7 type of deal for them in the Big East this year.
I think so. I think the bottom of the Big East is garbage.
Horrible.
The-
There's like 4 DePauls
But
now.
there's about
a
6.
lot of CBS Sports
but-
Network teams.
You know, the top 6, 7.
But
of
they'll
the Big
still
East are
lose to
good.
Villanova. Eric Dixon will go for like 80. He'll just say Kalkbrenner what?
Be Kyle Neptune's last
I
stand.
got the player coach Eric Dixon.
Yeah.
It's worked out well.
Eric Dixon still there.
Can we play a little game of guess that attendance?
For
Nebraska hosts Southern on Monday, December 30th
Uh-huh.
at 8 p.m.
Oh,
the game on the Big Ten Network. Is that why it's at 8?
Is that a BTA?
We need to
plus?
Yeah,
stop
yes.
playing games at 8 o'clock,
Yes.
by
Yeah.
the way.
Agreed. But we're in the San Diego of our conferences.
Well, technically in the Big Ten, you're not anymore.
I guess so, but they're still westward.
Like for example, last Wednesday night, there is no reason that, first of all, that game should be on TV, should only be on radio, and it should be starting at 8 o'clock against Houston Christian. 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I can't explain that.
Houston Christian's a squad.
Why can't it start at 8?
Because
8 o'clock is late
It is
for
so
a
late.
college
because
basketball game.
nobody's watching it on television, so why not just play it at 4 p.m. when who cares?
Air it on tape delay.
Yeah, if you're gonna go, you're gonna go.
No, but it's not about like it. If it's nobody's watching it on TV, then why do we care about the television audience? You're probably more concerned about attendance. And if it's an 8 o'clock game on a Wednesday night, the attendance is going to be hurt by the fact that it's at 8 o'clock,
So-
which it was.
All right, so college football is telling us that the prime TV window is 11 a.m. these days, right?
Well,
what Fox
Even though we
Joe
don't want
Clyde will
that,
tell you.
but they are pushing that.
Yeah.
That 11 a.m. is where the best games are.
Yeah, Fox is.
What is college basketball telling us? That 8 p.m. Central Time
Yeah.
is the best college basketball games?
Settle in. You already had your dinner. Now
What
watch
happened to
some
our
hoops.
7:05?
No, they put the good teams on at 6.
Well, if they're on the East
Do they?
Coast,
Yeah.
on the East Coast they do, because that's 7 out there.
Well, you get your doubleheader in.
Yeah,
Or
because
get your 6 and 8 o'clock
Fox
in.
during the week, if there's weekday games, they have it used to be 5:30 and 7:30, and for some reason it's 6 and 8.
Mhm.
And there's a 10-minute slide, make more like
And it also
8:12
Hey,
now.
it is also funny that they still schedule TV college basketball in a 2-hour window.
Yeah, I know.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
You
They're
think
in the
Kansas
game?
is
Like,
playing at 8?
Oh, there's still 4 minutes left in this game.
But is the KU Creighton game 8 or 8:30?
7:30.
Okay, 7:30.
That's
Hey,
great.
Great.
There's
Now
a good
that's
time.
perfect.
Yep.
I like earlier start times. Look at the Kansas City Royals. They're going to start at 6:40.
Ooh, beautiful.
Like we love the when school is in session,
I love Lamb.
Storm Chaser games
Yes.
that start at 6:30.
Oh my.
See, and I
instead of
wish
7:05.
I get the most triggered when they start games on Sunday at 5:05.
I still want to see
What
Omaha,
are you doing?
Omaha hockey go to
Yeah.
the 6 o'clock start time on Saturdays. Do the 7 Friday, 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Now, are they
To
doing
do
that? They
No,
are.
no,
No.
they're not.
They did
But
it
a
for
lot of
one game.
teams, a lot of people in the NCHC do that.
It's really about player safety. Get those kids an extra hour.
Yeah.
I just
Get them
please.
home. Get 'em in
Kansas
their bed.
plays tonight at 7.
Normal time.
Yeah, because they're in a conference with a normal television network.
ESPN Plus.
Do you think that in
Purdue Marquette tonight at 8 o'clock?
Hello.
Yeah, that's a good game. But there's a game on before that. Whoever UConn's playing a tomato can.
Mm.
And that's like the FS1 doubleheader.
UConn tonight plays Texas A&M Commerce.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this
3:52 on Ken Palm.
This says East Texas A&M on ESPN.
Oh,
That's
can't even get the name right.
Same school.
ESPN hates the Big East. Okay, so do you think college football will ever regain that prime time is the best time?
No. The ship has sailed.
Now we're lucky around
It
here.
has, though.
Well, but we keep shoving these games at 11 a.m.
Right, so you're specifically talking about Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, we'll never
It's-
go night. Yeah.
yeah.
Fox is dying on that hill.
Now,
Yeah.
we have been lucky for one of the rare times almost ever that Nebraska has not played a home game before noon this
I know
year.
it's crazy.
Correct.
This has got to be the first time in how many years?
But if you had to ask a Nebraska football
That
fan,
was wild.
media have a different spin. There's a lot of media like the 11 a.m. game because
Yeah.
they can get in and get out and watch other games.
Yep.
Yeah.
2:30 is the most ideal time.
Mhm.
And then for the bigger games,
I like a
throw
night
it in
game.
prime time.
Yeah, I like a night game.
But I don't like night game against UTEP or you and I would like you and I. does nothing
Unnecessary.
for me.
But
Yeah.
big game, night game, can't replicate that.
Yeah.
Colorado, Illinois, no doubt.
Yep.
Friday night is
Friday night.
Iowa, Nebraska on a Friday night
that is happening.
as the anti-Jim Delaney game.
That
Yes.
is most certainly happening. It'll be a battle. It's going to be a huge battle. Can't wait.
What time's the first when the playoff starts? The first games will be at 11, right? Those just go all day.
They have
The couple will
they
lap
have
over.
they have each win. Well, there's a game on on the Friday.
Yeah.
And then there's 3 Saturday, I believe. That's how they do it.
Look this up.
Why don't we? You know what?
Yep.
Too bad that we can't have just random times. Like back in the day before TV, every game was on TV.
Everything starts at 1.
Everything started at 1.
Everything starts at 1.
Yep.
Kickoff. You look like at old schedule cards.
Yeah.
1 o'clock or
1.
TBA.
1
Yeah.
o'clock.
1 p.m. 1 p.m. 1 p.m.
11, 3, and 7
Okay.
are your Saturday, December 21st kickoff time.
There
Like
you go.
did we like Saturday playing at 3? I kind of like
I
that
did.
kickoff time.
Yeah, I did.
That's fine. It's fine.
It's an unorthodox kickoff time.
It's fine.
Yeah, 3 works.
Saturday,
Start
December
staggering some games
21st.
a little bit. It's kind of nice. I like when they stagger them a little bit.
So Nebraska basketball doesn't have a game that day, but Creighton plays Villanova that day on the 21st of December at home. So there you go. I don't know what time that game's going to be. Probably.
So they haven't set the start
It'll be
time.
at 9.
So they'll probably put it
Fucking
up against a playoff. I mean, they'll have to
Oh,
put it
yeah.
up against a playoff game probably at noon, right? So you're going to hope that first game is just a complete blowout. Ohio State just took Boise State to the woodshed. Sorry, Ashton Genty ran for 42 yards in this game.
But you got to
Let's go watch Creighton and Villanova.
You got a trip to New York the day before or the week before.
Yeah. I think I don't know if that would be that game, but just an example of a game that's basically already locked in.
Yes.
And I guess it could be Oregon as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoever loses the Big Ten championship.
Joel
Actually,
says-
if it's Ohio State and they take their second loss, it probably won't be Ohio State as the 5.
Joel says I went
Somebody
back
else.
to 1999 on Husker Max, and there was at least one home 11 or 11:30 kickoff every
There you
season.
go.
Yeah, that's a impressive run.
That's a long time.
Look at that. Dannen is making waves in the Big Ten office.
Streaks are ending left
Hey,
and right.
We'll take a Friday game, which Nebraska has committed to one more Friday game between now and 2032.
That's great.
But we don't want any of those 11 a.m. games, and we want better officiating.
That would
Yeah.
be first on the
First,
the
yeah.
docket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think
Can
when
you
Tony
imagine-
They can
do you
pull
think
that
when
off.
Tony Petitti sees Troy Dannen's name pop up on his phone,
He's like,
do you think
oh, God.
do you think he sends it to voicemail, or do you think he goes, "Yeah, Troy"?
Let it
Well,
ring.
if
Let
you-
it ring.
it's
Nobody touch
one
it.
ring and then it goes right to
If you
voicemail.
believe Nebraska's side of it, they're the ones calling him.
Yeah, it's
You know,
true. Yeah, he's getting phone calls. He's getting
If
a
you're
lot
Matt
of,
Rule
a
and
lot of
you-
apology calls.
And the head of officiating or the commissioner calls you the next day. What do?
Mhm.
Tony, I don't want to hear it anymore. Just make it better. I don't
Be better.
Yeah. I don't want to hear it. Otherwise, we'll leave this conference.
And we're going to the Big 12. And they're
Turns
like,
out there's actually horrible officiating everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
it's not just a Big Ten thing.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
happens in the NFL too.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, what's with NFL refs being unable to see a face mask anymore?
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's
that was
gone.
that was a rough start to that game last night.
Yep.
What when the ceiling fell off?
Well,
Yeah, yes.
that would
But
be
then during the
sheet of metal.
gameplay,
Like, well, okay, guess we're going to close that back up.
like
I mean, that could have really hurt
close her
somebody.
up.
Yeah, roll her up. Roll her up.
Roll them up.
like when Buck and Aikman started before I switched over to Manning Cast last night, they were very nonchalant. Yeah, part of the roof, like Joe Buck
Yeah.
was like, part of the roof fell down. We'll get to Lisa Salter. She'll explain it coming up in a little
Yeah.
bit.
I thought the same
big
thing. I
deal.
was like, everybody really downplayed
Yeah.
a piece of metal falling from the ceiling.
We got
that high
real
up.
lucky on
And the
that
fact
one.
that there were some Houston Texans that were within the vicinity of where it was.
Yeah,
too.
how did it fall just right in that blank space in between the stands and the side
Well,
sideline?
and then the ESPN crew was sitting there on their set.
It wasn't that far from them.
I just wanted them to just fast forward to Jerry Jones postgame after that happened.
they
What do you want me
showed
to do? Tear down the whole stadium?
Van
They only
Pelt
put
showed
because you got only put curtains up.
Van Pelt showed some they had some clips from Jura post game. Jura should probably just not go down to the media area. He should
he can't help himself.
He should just stay upstairs and then hop in his car and go home.
He can't help himself.
But he cannot help himself.
Should we make that a college thing too? Should athletic directors do media afterwards?
No! God, no. Remember the one time it happened with
Yeah,
Nebraska?
remember Sean Eichhorst popped in? Hey,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, Sean, what are you doing here?
Hey, you
Yeah,
found me.
I'll
But
take
look
a-
how
I'll take a few.
fantastic a
It's
day
fine.
it was. We were both Connor and myself were like right around him.
Yeah.
You show up in a lot of pictures.
I'll never forget when he popped out of that elevator.
I'll take a few.
Everybody's just kind of standing there waiting for the players to come out. And I'm standing there. I'm right next to you. And I think it was Lee Barfnick. And he just walks into the middle of the room. And Lee goes, Sean, why are you here?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this. And then here comes everybody else. Yeah, that was a.
And then he held court and
Yeah.
basically wrote his ticket out of Nebraska.
Yeah, he was fired. He was fired 5 days later.
So did Lee say it loud enough to get everybody else's attention? I'm like, hey, Sean Eichhorst, why are you here?
When
And
it
then
became
everyone's like,
clear
"What?"
that Sean was talking,
Okay.
everybody sort of
Just
gathered
gravitated to him.
Yeah.
Those are two of the best in that when they used to do media interviews and wait for players. Diaco was almost standing in the same exact spot that Eichhorst had.
Yeah.
Diaco did the strain.
the strain. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
right.
spectacular.
He was like saddled up against that. There's like a little bar
But-
right there.
Yeah.
Why can't we have athletic directors after every game speak? Wouldn't you have loved to have Moose after every game?
I would have loved that.
How many did you have today, Moose?
I don't know that some would have liked it.
Moose loved Big Ten media days because he got media attention, and then there would be a scrum, and it
there
would
was a
surround
scrum.
him.
He was a guy who liked a good scrum. He liked a good media scrum.
Yeah, I remember when he did the need to get to 6 thing, but
Uh-huh.
that was not a big deal to me at the time. I was like, oh, it's just a guy saying we need to get to 6, and they didn't get to 6. I was like, oh.
Well, you just set a standard. And
Meanwhile-
that was not reached.
Fast forward to 2024, where everybody's saying we need to get to 6. Otherwise, we're going to have some serious problems. They better get to 6.
Yeah.
Big deal or no big deal? Dylan's comment after the USC game.
I thought it was something. I honestly thought it was something.
About they're
About
going to
basically
win. They're going to win
guaranteed.
one
Yeah,
more.
guarantee. I thought it was something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you would say. Right?
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
he's kind of like what is he gonna say?
It's
No.
like,
Right.
We're about to get this dub. We're about to catch this dub and then and get to that bowl game. We're going to Detroit, baby.
That
He
bowl
doesn't
game.
really ever say anything controversial.
Yeah.
Like remember he stood up for Satterfield.
Do you think Wisconsin's got that up there? Like Dylan just guaranteed
Definitely.
victory.
Well, so that's why I ask
They love
is like I was on Josh's favorite site, The Spun, yesterday.
Josh does love
And
that website.
It was like on their it was like near the top, like on
Yeah.
your screen. And I'm like, wow, it's not as big a deal around here
Yeah.
that the Nebraska quarterback basically nonchalantly just said, yeah, we're going to be more explosive, blah, blah. We're going to roll in, win the next 2, and then we'll go into the bowl game.
Yep. Gonna get that
Like
bowl game.
national people are like, whoa, Nebraska's
Yeah.
quarterback guaranteed a victory. Around here, I think we were like, okay, we got other things to worry about.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
probably a good way of dismissing that. Of like, that's the least of the things that probably are said or not said that are impacting this football program.
By the way, Texter Norm writes in, does
Norm?
Nebraska Creighton have a line yet? Have you seen anything floating out there?
College basketball lines of, well,
It's usually
if
day
you-
before.
Yeah.
like 24 hours before.
But I thought I saw something floating out there that was in the neighborhood of like 3.5 or 4 or
Whoa.
something like that.
Really? I was thinking more 8, 9.
So
Mm.
Ken Palm's usually pretty close and it factors in everything. Ken Palm says 10.
Yeah,
That's
you said about 9 or 10.
I see,
Yeah.
I see between 8 and 10. Creighton is an 8 to 10 point favorite.
Yeah. I was thinking that number seemed a little light as well.
I
I will
can
be-
get you 25 plus 25,000s on Pop Isaacs to win the Wooden Award.
Right.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I mean,
It's plus 25,000.
I love the payout on that. But
I'll
I
take a
just-
sandwich.
Yeah.
How about plus 950 for Cockbrenner?
Okay, that seems better.
Yeah,
He actually
Now
probably will
that's-
win that. Yeah.
that seems more realistic. Now, if Pop Isaacs wins the national award, then that probably means good things for Creighton.
Yes, I would agree.
If Pop Isaacs won the Wooden Award, Creighton would be in good shape
That means he's shooting the ball about 35 times a game.
and making all of them.
All of them. Literally every single one.
What? Pop Isaacs was
I
the
would
most
be
efficient
curious though,
shooter in the
that what I'll
country?
look for is the total as well,
No Creighton, Nebraska game.
Yeah.
like the total in Creighton, Nebraska.
Okay, so let me math it
What
out.
is does it? Ken Palm does the score, right?
80-70.
Okay,
So that's
that would
150.
make sense.
That's 150.
Okay, that sounds about right. 10-point favorite, 150. Let's ride.
Rivalry game. Shave a couple points off that. Put a hook in. 8.5, 155. Somewhere in that range.
All right,
I like
Vegas.
it.
See,
You guys are
set
setting
the line.
this. I like this.
I don't know, or maybe maybe you stray lower. I don't know.
Now, when you are in Vegas next week, will you be gambling on the Creighton games?
I will be gambling on many things, many things, including, but not limited to, blackjack.
Oh.
Not where I thought we were going.
You are a blackjack guy.
I love.
Lots of. So of course,
It'll be in Vegas during
Bachelorette-
the week. I'll be paying like.
You'll be there on Monday. So
The tables are
So-
a little light. You
yeah,
get the
early-
$5 tables.
early in the week, you don't have to worry about.
Ah,
You're sitting at a hot table on a Friday night with off to the left, Paul and Tyson fighting, and you have this guy, and it's a good table, and
he's got a
we're
big
winning.
duffel bag.
And so he gets up because there is a bachelorette party, and this girl wants to sit down. She doesn't know how to play blackjack.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, the table goes cold.
Exactly.
Yep.
All of a sudden, your entire thing is ruined. That's exactly right. One of my
Just took
favorite
the
things.
dealer's break card.
One of my favorite things to do in Vegas is to wake up really early, take a nice long walk in the morning, and then just if a table calls me, the dealer's just standing there. He looks, he or
Hey,
she looks
Connor.
really friendly.
Hey, buddy.
Sit on down. Why don't you play a couple hams? You got it. I will.
I
I will.
after being out there last week, I need to focus more on roulette. Roulette. There was
I like roulette.
people were telling me that roulette and craps are the hot games
Yeah.
to win money quickly on now.
I'd like to do
Well,
more.
yeah.
craps.
If you hit a number all of a sudden on roulette, I mean, you're cooking.
Yeah, I'd like to do more craps.
But I don't know enough. Like I want to mix it up on roulette. I just don't want to go on black.
Yeah,
You
you
know.
throw some numbers. I usually, put, if it's a $10 minimum,
Yeah.
you go 10 on the outside, 10 on the inside.
Okay.
So you go 10 on black or red or whatever, and then you pick your numbers and put $2 on each. If you hit a number, you win $70 right away. Bada
Okay.
bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
And
Now
if
you're
you
off
hit the
to
color, you got your double your money on that too.
That'll be the next thing I sat down and I studied craps because people are like, you can win crap if you understand
Yeah,
craps.
see, I don't know
you
what I'm
can
doing.
win craps.
I have heard this.
It's
before.
not the easiest to learn, but once you do, man, it is addictive.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
And,
Then
you know,
it's
you
got
the table. Everybody stands around.
the
They're
big
very,
pot
they're
payout.
very
Yeah, you got
they're
an
watching
audience.
craps because
Gotta
they're not
block
sure
out the
how
noise.
it works. Yes,
You got fans.
Yes.
You get fans if you're doing things right. So yeah. And you're contributing to their winnings
But you will
too.
have plenty of sports books, which I also learned this. There is no mobile betting
In Vegas?
in Vegas.
That's right.
Really?
You can't
That
access.
surprises me.
You cannot
Well,
access the FanDuel.
So I
Sportsbook.
opened up my FanDuel app
Oh,
Yeah.
because I saw something on TV and I was like, I'm going to check that
It
line.
makes very little sense.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
That really surprises me.
Or is
but-
it to
but I-
protect the sports books because
I
you're so
believe-
accessible?
It's
Yeah.
not that there's no mobile sports betting. It's the specific, casino. Like you walk by the MGM Sportsbook and they're like, you have to download the MGM app right
Yes.
now, or I'll kill you.
Is that what Kevin Hart is saying to you?
Yeah.
Or I'll kill you.
Yeah. It's like we'll give you $1 million free dollars on this.
Does
It's like, what's the-
FanDuel have a
No.
a physical?
No.
Okay.
because each of the casinos have their own books.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like
I didn't know if they had built like some.
a lot of them are
No.
under
shack
the
at the end
umbrella.
of the strip.
A
or
lot of them
something.
are under the umbrella of Caesars. MGM obviously has
Yes.
MGM, and
FanDuel's more like at stadiums. Like the Red Stadium has a FanDuel sportsbook.
it's off on its own. But that is famously true, Josh.
yeah.
Who placed the first bet there? Pete Rose. That's right.
Oh,
Who placed a
weird.
notable bet there?
That's
the
right.
coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
that was same place, right? Yeah.
I've got a hot tip.
You're not going to believe what I'm about to show you.
It's a lock. Don't ask how I know. I can't tell you.
Just some people are so dumb.
Yep.
Like,
It's amazing.
That's the moral of
I
the story
think-
right down that
you know
one.
what? I think I would make a good detective because people just they're just dumb. Like think about it. If you're a detective and you're like you're solving a crime. You're like, how dumb is this person? They just handed themselves to us. You're like, let's see video. Let's see, connect the dots.
Yeah, turns out they have that.
Wouldn't you feel like you'd have to mock them too?
He was on speakerphone the whole time.
Now listen, I'm going to give you an out here. Don't place this bet.
Yeah.
And also a bet that may throw up a red flag.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was like $150,000
On
bet
college baseball.
On college
On
baseball?
a random college baseball.
On like a Tuesday?
Yeah. Like, okay, well, there's some irregularities there.
All right. Enjoy Dana today. Do you think he shows up with a Red Bull?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 of them.
Does he wear a hat or is he showing off those beautiful locks?
Seems like when you got a hair like that.
I feel like you got to go a hat.
Yeah.
Does he troll? Does he mention yards per play?
Right out of the gate.
That's funny.
We're talking about a Satterfield like in his office privately, just watching it on his phone, the presser.
Somebody should ask how many yards per play do you want to get?
It would only be fair, right? Since that's absolutely what we care about.
Who asked
and
the
not
question
trying to make
Satterfield?
someone look like an idiot.
What?
Who asked the question to Satterfield?
Kevin Suits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he needs to do that to Dana.
Hey, Dana, Kevin shoots 10-11 in Lincoln. I asked Marcus this a while ago, but your thoughts on yards per play?
He'll have a great detailed answer.
I really hope he does.
All right. Have a great afternoon.
Bye-bye.
That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Tuesday. We'll start things off next.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Johnson with you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Another day closer to pain, sadness.
For Nebraska on rivalry day, am I right?
No. I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
Talking about football. Of course, there will be either sadness or euphoria for some in the state on Friday, depending on which side wins.
That is kind of like chaos.
You
Stirring
do.
it up.
You do. That's all right, I guess.
Maybe I'm the rabble rouser.
Oh, you do rabble rouse, Josh. You like to make fun of teams. You love to make fun of Nebraska basketball. You hate Nebraska basketball.
I'm just saying East Texas A&M or whoever the hell it was has beaten Southern.
Yeah. So what does that mean for Nebraska and Creighton?
It means Nebraska don't lose to Southern.
Oh. I thought it meant something about the Nebraska Creighton game.
No.
I was like, where are we going here?
Sorry.
What's going on? All right. Welcome to a Tuesday show. Allan Bell will join us coming up at 11:30. Jacob Bigelow at 1. Talk about the Huskers with him. Josh, you can ask antagonizing questions if you want, or you could just chill out, whatever you want to do. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees, John Higgins Weather Guard. We'll love to hear from you all. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Constructions on Twitter feed. Email Connor, Josh Show at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. We say good morning to the YouTubers today. What's going on, everybody? What's up, brother? YouTube 1620 Zone TV. Or you go watch us, as always, zonetv.live. That is up for you 6A to 6B. And sometimes, if the sports schedule allows, even later than that. Elsewhere on the show, we'll evaluate the question, did Dana do anything on Saturday? We'll hear from Dana Holgerson today, Nebraska's new offensive coordinator, for the first time in a media setting before Nebraska plays Wisconsin. At least he's got a game under his belt. We'll hear from Matt Rule from yesterday. There's 3 clips that I've pulled that I'd like to discuss throughout the show today. We will hear from Nebraska's athletic director who spoke last night.
The Yogurt Man.
He spoke on the radio, talking about how badly Nebraska needs to get to 6 wins. Why?
Oh, no.
Because they're going to spend a lot of money building a newish stadium, or at least a new portion of the stadium, and they're going to ask for your help.
Financially.
They
don't want you laying bricks or anything.
That's right. So need some positivity going into the offseason. Also, we missed this yesterday, but we were talking about the game and whatever. But did you see Bud Crawford's tweet after the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, whatever that was?
Sure did.
The athletic director has commented.
Oh, really?
We'll get to that, and maybe a future, but not so future, schedule change for Nebraska as well. He talked about all of those things. So there's plenty to hit. NFL reaction, overreaction today as well. Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams. We're loaded on a Tuesday. We're going to take a call on the other side. Tony's waiting. We'll get to those. We want to hear from you guys on the show today. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with the beginning. It's the beginning of the end.
Whoa!
I don't know. No, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We'll stay. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com with you here on a Tuesday. Plenty to come today, but as always, we like to hear from the most important voice of all, yours. Speaking of, Josh Peterson and I will be hosting Big Red Overreaction this weekend following Nebraska against Wisconsin.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Will we do the same show that each of us have done 48 times in the last decade? Or will it be something new, fun, exciting, and different?
I will call the hotline from the Grand China Buffet if needed.
If needed. Yeah. So we're off and running here. On a Tuesday, to the phones we go. On the 42 Degrees, the Source Hotline. Here's Tony. Tony, thanks for waiting. What's up?
Morning, guys. Hey, you speaking my language when you're talking roulette and craps, but you guys want a simple roulette system. You know what a unit is? If I say a unit, you know what that is?
Yeah, well, like whatever your bet is, whatever your standard bet is.
Yeah. So just go down to a war horse and get about a $300 bankroll, and you pick either the first, second, or third dozen. You can mix it up. I just do first and third. I stay there. Never play a 000 roulette wheel because that changes the odds. Just a little bit. So stay away from that. Just play 000, but either do I do first, third dozen, and you start off with a unit. I do $2, and then if you lose, you go up 2 units, and if you win, you come down 1. And you know it, you got $100 in your pocket. It's a pretty simple system.
You're saying this is a foolproof system, Tony?
I haven't lost yet, but I'll move it around a little bit too. But I don't. You can't stay. See, the advantage Vegas has is they're open 24/7. So eventually the numbers are going to come their way.
That's
we don't have 24/7. So you got to hit and run. You got to have good bankroll management.
But they get so mad at you when you hit and run. They're like, "What? You're leaving now? It was just getting so fun."
Damn right. You always just go somewhere else if they get too mad at you, right?
Yeah. 100%, especially in Vegas.
No, take the money and run. Never stay too long. That's the key too.
Great advice, Tony.
Yeah. So last weekend, my wife and I went to the Arizona State game. She's an Arizona State grad. So the trade-off was going to be I went with her, and she was going to go with me this week. And it's funny that when Kansas State does their intro, they still have the Eric Crouch helmet turn on their pump-up video.
That's funny.
So if you don't think we're still in their heads, why, I don't know. But anyway, it's really frustrating to go watch a team like Arizona State, and good for them, be able to do what they've done in the same amount of time that we have. And so when we're driving home, I told her, I said, whatever you do not let me go to the Nebraska game this weekend. And she says, why? You're a diehard fan. I said, yeah, but you don't understand. To go and sit and watch what Arizona State has done, that was beautiful football. I don't want to go ruin it or ruin our Saturday. So what I'm asking is, give me a reason to go Saturday besides the BS. We're Husker fans. Do we really have a shot Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
Really have a shot Saturday?
Yeah, Nebraska has a chance to win, but I understand where you're coming from, where it's like, well, they've had a chance to win all of these games, and they always fall short. Like, if you're planning it out right now and how the game's going to go, it's pretty much what Matt Rule said yesterday, which is, it's going to be close in the fourth quarter. And what he didn't say was the other team will probably make the plays to win, or Nebraska won't. So that's it can be soul-sucking.
Willing to put some guys in and sit some guys? Do you think?
No, I do not think that. No.
See, that's the part I can't understand. I don't understand why you don't think about the entire. I understand, and you try to give appreciation to guys that have stuck with you, but at the same time, the goal there for everybody is to win. I mean, if you don't, as Michael said on Saturday, if you can't win with your best, then you're in trouble. I mean, if we got somebody out there, and I don't care if they're a redshirt freshman, if they have a shot to come in and help us get a W, man, that should be the priority. Now, see, that kind of gives me reservations as to why I should go this Saturday, because they're just not willing to do what it's going to take to win, even if it means hurting a feeling or two. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tony, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
So the answer it's the answer to why should I go to the game. I heard Michael talk about this on Sunday morning on Severe Reaction on 1620 The Zone. Still 2 episodes left this year, by the way. Josh Grunt's Severe Reaction.
Always a positive grunt.
Because Michael got obviously a bunch of the same calls on Sunday morning, and he was like, well, after all, if you approach it the right way, it is still a football game. You only get 6 of these at home, 7 of them, whatever it might be over a season. And you only get 12 of them. And I think as hard as that is for people to hear, knowing that they're not going to leave you, like they're coming back next year. There's going to be another opportunity to go and watch them. That is still the thing, right? You watch the team and you hope that they're going to win, and you hope that something different is going to happen. But that's not really why you watch them. You watch them because you watch them, and it's fun. Like football is fun. And I know people are going to be like, no, it's not, Connor. Football is actually the worst.
It's pain.
Football. Some people are saying that football is actually worse than basketball.
Whoa.
Some people are saying that. Get ready for that take to pop back up, by the way.
Interesting.
Can't wait for that. But I mean, that's ultimately why you go. But if you feel a little beat down by whatever it is this year, this coaching staff, the last coaching staff, the last 10 years, the last 20 years, the last 25 years, whatever it might be, if you feel beat down by all of this stuff, I don't blame you for it. But Nebraska is going to roll the ball out there on Saturday, and they're going to hope that they, we've got a lot of definition of insanity calls this year as well. Hey, Connor, what's the definition of insanity? I was like, well, it's let me guess what you're about to say. It's doing the same thing over and over and over again, hoping you're going to get different results. That's right, Connor. That's exactly right. Well, Nebraska,
now you're doing Nebraska fan voice,
but that wasn't even like I wasn't even trying to be sarcastic. I was just doing a different voice.
Oh, okay.
Just a different voice. If I could speak Italian, I would have spoken Italian. Just that, like Dana Holgerson calling an offense. But Nebraska is going to roll the ball out there on Saturday, and they're going to try and do the same thing. And I think that's hard for some people to swallow. I get it. I understand it. But they are going to roll with the guys who have Matt Rule. I said this yesterday, and I believe it to be true, and we're going to play a clip in the next segment. Nebraska, Matt Rule really wants this group to do it. He wants those old guys to do it, the guys who consistently haven't been doing it. And he thinks they're so close. And they probably are. We'll see what happens on Saturday. Tony mentioned another piece in his call there that we'll get to right on the other side here.
And the roulette.
And Rule talked about it. Yeah, Rule talked about roulette yesterday. Yeah, he was like, "Yeah, you got to bet, first 10 on each side of the whatever. Don't bet a 000 table. Get out of there." The line in Hangover where they're like, "Never leave the table on a heater." Shout out to Jeffrey Tambor.
That's right.
Always leave the table on a heater. That was Tony's advice.
You got to do the Seinfeld. Get out before
it stops.
Yep.
But no, Rule talked about, and I've wondered, we've heard this all year, the effect that other coaches around the country, like Kenny Dillingham, like Kurt Signetti, like whoever is having success early in their tenure, hell, even Deion Sanders, has on the Nebraska fan base. They look around and they see everybody else doing normal things, and Nebraska can't seem to figure it out. They can't seem to pass this giant hurdle. Rule, I think Rule talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I want you to hear his response again, and then we'll discuss it coming up in the next segment. But like I said, I want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620. Plenty of room on the show today. Allan Bell will join us at the bottom of the hour. Back on a Tuesday after this on the Connor Happer Show, 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. It's Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Banger of a, before we get to this rule clip here, banger of a message board post last night from Stephen M. Sipple.
This thing.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have. My God, he was cooking.
Was Sipple cooking? Yes, is the answer. Here is the thread that Sipple started yesterday. before Matt Rule's press conference. Amazed how many people around Nebraska's campus that I've seen today walking in the rain without an umbrella, just getting soaked and seemingly oblivious to it. The umbrella is an incredible invention. I always have one packed. Ketchup is another incredible invention that is simple in nature. I'm killing time before Rule's press conference, which will begin momentarily. I wish it didn't. And we could just keep getting random ramblings from Stephen M. Sipple.
Wish Rule would have been a little late. No, he's absolutely right about
Is
the umbrella.
the umbrella an incredible invention? Josh, before you put it up on the poll, which I know you're going to, is he right? Let's evaluate this just momentarily.
Oh, absolutely. He is right. I, as an adult, also, I don't own an umbrella.
You keep that thing on you?
No.
Do you keep ketchup packets on you?
No, I don't use ketchup.
Ketchup is a useless invention.
Yeah.
So he was 1 for 2 for me. Umbrella? If I'm lucky, it's in my car. If I'm lucky.
I believe my wife has one in her car.
I do not stay strapped. I do not keep that thing on me.
Now, how did Sipple word it? I want to get it right. Is the umbrella an incredible invention? Yeah. That's the random ramblings of Stephen M. Sipple yesterday before the press conference. So do you think he has a quota, like a message board quota?
Nope.
Okay.
I think he caught a random thought in his head and said, I'm not doing anything. I have a computer in front of me. Let's type these words out.
I got to get this out.
Yeah. I'm glad I have an avenue for this. He was probably thinking.
Probably, yeah.
Coach Rule's coming up here in a second, but in the meantime,
Coach, what do you think about umbrellas?
I see people walking on campus and they're just getting wet.
Unprepared for life.
They're just getting wet. It's crazy to me. Use an umbrella.
Or ketchup.
I don't think that I've certainly never bought an umbrella before. I've acquired umbrellas randomly throughout time. I may have had an umbrella passed down from a generation.
Yeah, passed down, stadium giveaway.
Stadium giveaway is the other most likely reason that I would have an umbrella. But they're kind of like those lawn chairs in that, like this. What do they call those? The fabric chairs that fold in and then they go in that holder that nobody puts them in because it's too hard to put them in there. I have either acquired those from generations or have acquired them from some sort of free giveaway.
Another item I'm not entirely sure I've ever purchased for myself, but have multiple.
But you never know when you're going to find yourself with an opportunity to use an umbrella or one of those weird picnic chairs.
That's right.
So maybe he's right. Maybe you got to keep that thing on you just at all times. Whip it out. Johnny, our texts in.
Hi, John.
Should Sipple really be drinking before the press conference? No. This is a normal Sipple thought.
Just his thoughts.
Yep. PJN writes in on Twitter.
Hi, PJN.
PJN. Just 3 letters. Okay. PJN. The golf umbrella is incredibly underrated.
Yes. I had a golf bag with one of those in it.
Yeah, but I don't know about you, Josh, but I ain't walking nothing these days. And if I'm playing golf, I got a cart. And the whole thing about a cart is it's really cool. It's not a convertible. Like it has a top on top of it and it's got windows, So I don't know. I just I don't really use the umbrella as much as I should. Jake writes in on the other side, umbrellas are for losers. I just put a bunch of ketchup packets on my head when it's raining. Either got one or you got the other. Kenneth writes in, the old Happer family umbrella. Passed down from generation to generation.
This kept my paws head dry, and it'll keep your head dry too.
Poll questions are up at Happer Show. Was Stephen Sipple cooking, and is the umbrella an incredible invention? Both available for you to vote. We encourage you to do so.
There's only one option on the Sipple poll.
Well, Really? There's only one option?
That's
And how
right.
is it a poll?
Oh, was Sipple cooking? Yes or yes?
Oh, we'll see which one people go for then. All right, let's go to the phones here. 42 Degrees Source Hotline. Oh, BA Coach's Show with us now. BA, what's going on?
All right, I just had a quick kind of question or kind of theory for you guys if you guys are down for it.
Love to hear it.
All right, so first, you guys can tell me, am I wrong or crazy for being a bit annoyed with this just mentality that of preparing for every game to be one possession with a chance at the end? Like, I feel like every in-game decision is being made to just have a shot at the end, and I feel like that's just not the move. For me, I like the idea of just going out there and beating them down, and I just feel like there's been a lack of aggression of the mentality of, oh, we want a shot to go win the game at the end. So do you guys think I'm crazy on that?
No, I do not. And I think the original intent of him saying that all the time was like, hey, it's going to come down to one thing, right? But I think it's probably been taken a little bit to maybe literally, I don't know, or used as sort of an out in some places. But I'm with you. I've often thought that this year is like that mentality is probably not treated them very well, especially considering they routinely don't make the plays at the end of the game.
Well, and that's kind of my thing. And I've kind of was thinking about it. And the little kind of thing I have is like, maybe at a place like Temple, where like when you're mismatched against some of the bigger or better schools, that might be a good move. Or like in Baylor, like because when he took over, that place was a dumpster fire, right? That might have been a decent move to do there. And obviously in the NFL, that's dang near how every NFL game comes down to. And I feel like in times at Nebraska, maybe trying to keep it a one-score game at the end, like against a team like Ohio State, where on paper, talent-wise, you're mismatched a bit, right? But I feel like that definitely shouldn't be like the game plan going into like a UCLA or an Illinois. So that was just kind of a question I kind of had for you guys, just because it's been, I don't know, it's just, I think like you said, maybe it wasn't taken, we're taking it too literally, but I just feel like at times during the game, like there's game time decisions that are like, oh, we're trying to just give ourselves a shot at the end. Like at the end of the UCLA game where, it's like, oh, we're not trying to rush to score. We just want to have ourselves a shot at the end if you trust your defense. Yeah. To me, I'm like, hey, we're down 2 scores. We got to get one in. Like, I'm not saying rush or go crazy, but I just don't like the mentality of, oh, we're just going to try and give ourselves a shot late. That was just my kind of thought, and kind of wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
I appreciate that. Thanks for the call. It's totally valid.
Definitely.
I think that it's not necessarily served Nebraska well.
Now, to his credit, he did plan on blowing out Colorado. He said that. That game went exactly the way I thought it was going to go.
Well, it's also used. That's true.
That's the one game that did not come down to the final possession.
I also feel like it's been used sort of as almost a benchmark in a way too. At certain points this year, rules like, well, look what happened. It was close to the fourth quarter. We had a chance.
And we're not getting blown out.
Yeah, but it's not like that. It's not like, hey, check it out, we're not getting blown out. But it was like, I thought it was going to be close to the fourth quarter. So like they're just, to go back to the table game references here, they just have all these chips and they're just pushing them all in on getting this part figured out, on getting this mental hurdle jumped over. Because think about it, and Nebraska's a team that has routinely not been good in the exact situations that Rule wants the game to come down to. In the fourth quarter, do you have to make 1 or 2 plays? Do you have to go down the field score a touchdown to either tie, take the lead, win, whatever it might be? I think there has been a conservative nature about what they've done, but a lot of that manifests itself in offense as well. I mean, if you go back and you think about that Illinois game, or you think about that UCLA game, and they're trying to cut it down, or they're trying to tie the game or take the lead against Illinois, and they're trying to cut it down to 7 against UCLA, and they were sitting in the red zone for 80 minutes, just trying to score a touchdown. And his thing is like, hey, we got to get it right. But yeah, there's also a time that goes into that too. I will also say that having a new offensive coordinator, I don't know if it's going to help you score in the red zone, but it should help just get the ball moving downhill a little bit more on offense. I liked that they had a bit of a spring to their step on Saturday. I know Dylan's still in a bad spot. He's still not executing things great. But I thought that was a step in the right direction for them. So some of it's that too.
Rules talked about how, this is getting out of my comfort zone too with the Dana thing.
Right. And that's a good thing.
Mhm.
That's definitely a good thing for this team.
And would you be sort of side to this whole topic? Would you be surprised if after the season we were told Dylan has had a nagging something or other the entire season?
Well, I mean, it's kind of obvious, right?
But, I mean, there's things we know about, we can see that he has, but if they came out and expressly said, well, he's
going to go have surgery and get something cleaned up.
All season Dylan's had one kidney and you didn't know.
It would surprise me if he was playing with one kidney.
Okay.
Yes. It would.
Poll question?
No. HIPAA?
So
this is pretty much on topic. Chance right saying Dylan has lupus. Oh no.
Another one.
So I want to know how this hits with you guys. Because I've heard this throughout the year. Look at what Signetti's done. Look at what Dion's done. Look at what look at what now Kenny Dillingham has done.
So fast, Connor.
So fast. And I watch these other programs and they win and they have different mentalities and they seemingly sort of change it overnight. Here's Rule yesterday on a little bit of all of that. Josh, are we ready to play a video here? Here's Matt Rule on the ethos of his program.
When Ted Carter and Trev Alberts offered me this job, they said to me, we want you to build a program that's built on player development. They said that was the ethos of Nebraska. Tom Osborne, getting players here, a walk-on from Western Nebraska, a scholarship player from somewhere, get them here, develop them, teach them, train them, Then, college football, now you see some teams that are winning with a lot of transfer portal guys. So now the pressure goes on you to I better get some portal guys if I want to win and keep my job. I mean, but it's not really the ethos of what I want to do and who we are.
By the way, the context of that is he was doing a long thing about what happens when the roster changes come through and all of that stuff. The Rule has realized that it's a different game than the one he left when he went after 2019 from Baylor to the NFL. But he still believed, based on what Iowa has done, based on what Michigan has done in the Big Ten Conference, that you can do it this way. It's harder. Can you do it this way? Yeah, it's harder and it's more painstaking. And Nebraska has to really, really break through here. But I don't know. That sounded to me like. Did it sound like to you that he was unwavering in his commitment to building the program in a development? Because I think that Rule is a chameleon. I think that Rule can build whatever type of program he needs to, suited for whatever place he needs to build it at. And he was told when he got here by the people in charge, and it fit.
Both of whom are no longer here.
Yes, and it fit him at the time of this is the way I want to do it. It's player development. We got to focus on the things that get you to that place. And I think that all sounds awesome, but it's really struggling getting off the ground. And there's a clock that is working against you. No matter what, you don't get 8 years for free. You don't it's an 8-year contract. You don't get 8 years for free. You have to get it off the ground before that. And he has a little bit more time because I think Nebraska's been through some hard stuff here and people are like, all right, we're not going to do this again, right? Can we just, can we figure this one out? Can we just double down and triple down and quadruple down? But I wonder, I think Rule has looked around at some other things that are happening around the country and said, oh man, maybe I love these guys and this is definitely the way I want to do it, but I don't know if it was the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think there's something to the sustainability of it. He talks about that if we can do it this way, and this group, this senior group, the guys who chose to come back and break through and do it, I could see it opening a floodgate of, hey, you saw that you do it this way, you're gonna see the fruits of your labor or whatever. That sermon that he's got locked in his holster,
He's
ready
so
to
ready.
go. Yeah,
He's so ready to go to a bowl game.
yeah. There's something to that, but as we talked about yesterday, gosh, that's a huge and stupid gamble if it doesn't pay off.
And I do think that the success of other coaches with quick fixes, and now maybe with some staying. I mean, Deion Sanders' team is like they've gotten better as the season has gone along,
and more likable.
And they're certainly way better than they were last year.
Yeah,
So everyone saw that as a quick fix. Hey, if they don't win right away, then you're going to be in trouble. They weren't very good last year, and they weren't very good at the beginning of the season, but now they're a lot better. Yeah, some of that is the schedule and the league that you do it in and the environment that you do it in.
The fun Big 12.
There's, circumstances are different in every league for every location. But I don't know. And I think Rule definitely wants to do it this way, but you also run the risk of if you don't do it, or even if you do, you've spent all this time for the last couple of years pouring everything into players that you inherited, which is honorable, right? We all said that right out of the gate. He's not shipping anybody off. He's not telling anybody to leave because these people love it here and they want it to be here. And Ty Robinson wants to be here. And there's a reason why he stuck around. He was part of Scott Frost's second recruiting class. Like his first full recruiting class, I'm pretty sure, wasn't he? It's crazy to think about. So he's been around for a long time, and I want to do right by these guys, and they didn't ship anybody off. And he also thought that there was something to work off of. He didn't just. This is a narrative that I think is out there too. Like he didn't just keep those guys because he felt he owed it to them, or he felt like they were good guys. I do think that is a part of it, but he also thought there was something there. And I still think there is something there, but they haven't been able to press the right buttons to get it out of them so far. And so now you look at it 2 full seasons later almost, and you're not much further along as a program from a developmental standpoint. Not much, not none, but not much. And now the big part is, are you standing by as your younger players who you're going to entrust next season and the season after too, who were recruited by Matt Rule, have they now been infected by this disease of not making the plays when the plays need to be made, or thinking too much, or lacking focus, or whatever, however you want to characterize that? It's, they didn't. Do you think Nebraska would be in a different place if Matt Rule, it's still Matt Rule, but he had decided to approach it differently right out of the gate? I think yes.
Yeah.
I think yes.
I don't know how much further down the road they'd be, but I think they'd be a little further down the road.
I think last year would have been hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like this year would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
And one thing that hasn't happened in year 2, which is always, everyone says this is the important, year 2 is a huge year for every coach. Always.
I've heard this.
Year 2 is, it's not just a thing that people say, that is true. But what would have happened this year is they would have had all of last year to develop, of which they were kind of on track, playing young guys and whatever it might have been. But they decided to kind of go win now a little bit, and they were going to need jumps for some players who have been around for a long time, and they didn't get them. And now the program from game 1 to game 12 in 2024 has not gotten better. And then it's just hard to sell progress for 2025. You could always say reset and we're going to go get this and this and this out of the portal. And I don't know, college football changes next year with the roster limits. And you talked about that a lot yesterday, but so you could always sell, hey, look, it's a reset, whatever. But I don't know, you do so with a lot less people on your side going into 2025.
2 good tweets here that I want to read.
Good tweets.
One from Curtis.
Hi, Curtis.
Rule is proving to be a man of his word. How many kids left after year 1? Not many. He's got one full recruiting class under his belt and used a bunch of red shirts to develop guys. Foundation first.
I think those guys, I think the thing that he did at those other places, though, when he built Temple and Baylor, it wasn't just young guys developing under old guys. They played, and they took lumps because of it.
Sort of that iron sharpens iron. Like, hey, that young guy, you're going to play that young guy over. He just got here. You're going to play him over me?
If you are Princewell, Uman Mielen, and if you are Cam Lenhart, going off of the freshman years that you had last year, I would expect those guys to be really consistent, good players for you. And they just haven't got the opportunities to do so because they've leaned so heavily into Nash and Ty and MJ Sherman, guys who are just a little bit older because they wanted to do it with them. And hell, Riley Van Poppel had a really nice spark of a season last year. He's redshirting, right? The real development is when you play. And
definitely the quickest way to get better.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fastest track. So you're almost hitting the reset, you kind of year one button next year, which is really hard to hear, I think, for a lot of people.
Second tweet comes from Lee, pushing back on BA's question a little bit. I can't believe how many people think Rule telling the kids to prepare for a one-score game is him trying to make the game a one-score game. He wants the kids to not feel uncomfortable if the game is a one-score game.
Yeah, like I said, I think that was the original intent. I think Rule has used that as a crutch at some points this year. He's been like, hey, what'd I tell you? I told you it's going to be a one-score game. We just have to go out and make the plays. It's certainly less of their, I don't know, hey, we have a chance to. I mean, how many chances has Nebraska? I would have to go back, and this is maybe a good offseason research project, I guess. But like, how many chances has Nebraska really had to stomp out a football game? This year, and I'm not talking about what it was against USC this past weekend, right? USC, you can make the argument that Nebraska should have been up, 21-0 in the first several minutes of that game, sure. But I'm saying, you got the ball, you're up by a touchdown, it's the third quarter, it's time for the stomp out drive. They had one against Illinois, definitely, and probably not too many after that. Probably not too many after that.
You're talking direct chances.
We're if we score, it's over. I don't feel like there's been too many of those opportunities where they've just sat on the ball and said, we're just going to play for the fourth quarter. We'll just, we'll take it easy here. But there's no doubt about it. There have been moments this year where they've lacked urgency. And I think the offensive coordinator change should theoretically push that along a little bit more.
Theoretically.
Because that's a lot of where it manifests itself, like I said to BA. Couple texts here before we get to AB. From the 402.
Hi, 402.
First on BA's call. That guy is right. He needs to be more aggressive and go balls to the wall. Just another glimpse into why he's not going to work out. And then on the whole way they've built it thing, Rule's way is a losing proposition now. Doesn't work. See, I disagree with that. I don't think that you can't do this. I don't think that you can't do this in this day and age of college football. But Nebraska's not doing it right now. But I don't think it's the plan that is a bad plan. I just think it's not working. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. Here's from the 308.
Hi, 308.
There's absolutely nothing won't do to win except sit the old players for young guys or sit his overpriced quarterback for more than one play and risk angering the first family of Nebraska football. Okay, can we address this? Why do people want to bench Dylan Raiola? What are you talking about?
Because Heinrich has pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
Why do people want this so bad? This is a now consistent thing that I hear from people.
Now we want to run the quarterback into the ground because the running game can't run itself into the ground.
I don't like. There's also this weird like Daniel Kalen hive that's popping up now.
Oh yeah, they're ready to bust out.
What does that do you?
Bellevue, stand up.
Do you guys really think this is all on the quarterback? He needs to make more throws.
He was not the prince that was promised.
Well, that might be true.
You know how we want to fire coaches after the least amount of time possible? Same thing with quarterbacks.
That's just crazy.
Most popular guy on any team's the backup quarterback.
That's crazy to me. And then, I mean, look at what else Nebraska. You want to put in little baby Grimstad?
He ain't no baby.
He is a baby.
That's an old man.
No, but he's a little boy.
Oh, well, yes, he's tiny.
No, thank you.
Because he's old.
Give me the guy
and has shrunk.
Give me the guy who's capable of making all these throws. You just have to get him back to that point. You just have to get him there.
That guy's over. It's HH time.
And to be honest with you, like I said, I really do think he took. Maybe it was a small step. Maybe it was just a crawl in the right direction on Saturday. But I do think it did go in the right direction for him. If the arrow had to point one way or the other, like game to game, it's up. If it's game 1 to game 10, it's obviously down for Dylan Raiola. All right. Well, let's take a break here. We got Allan Bell coming up on the other side. We will talk about the NFL with him, get some things for over the weekend, but we'll see if we can squeeze in this phone call maybe quickly as well. Quickly, we get an email from John. Young guys is the subject line. So what are you saying? So what you are saying is that those of us calling for the young guys to play are correct, and it is proven by what Rule has done in the past and the success it created. By not doing it, Nebraska will be heading into year 3, and no progress will have been made. Nebraska will miss a bowl game in 2025 as well. I'm not saying all of that. Guess I'm saying some of it. I do think Nebraska should play the young guys. I do think they should.
You've got the games penalty free,
but that's the heartless version of me. That is. But Rule clearly has an affinity for those players. He feels indebted to them that they have stuck around, and that they bleed and Nebraska red, and that they really truly care about the program. I think that's hurt him a little bit. What was the call?
One caller wanted to know, they have the 4 games. Why not just see what you've got in some of these guys?
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Preaching to the choir.
Couldn't agree more. But they're not going to do that. If anything, they're going to lean even heavier to guys who have played a lot of snaps this year. All right, we'll be back with AB coming up on 1620 The Zone. All right, we'll see if we can get a hold of Allan Bell quickly in the NFL, which we'll have plenty of chatter about with NFL Reaction, Overreaction, and Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams coming up in the noon hour. The news this morning is that the Jets have fired their general manager, Joe Douglas, who is a bald man with a beard. Pour one out.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Does that make you feel some type of way?
It just makes my job security. I just wonder a little bit,
Okay.
you know?
Can't help but feel a little...
Because people think I look like all the bald guys with beards.
Sure. All y'all look alike.
So when one of my brothers goes down, it does make me think about life in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to spoil topics later in the show.
Topic
but
alert.
Writing's on the wall there.
We'll see.
Is it not?
Yeah. We have a topic regarding the Jets. We have a topic regarding
We
the
always
Jets.
do.
We kind of always do. I
For
feel
some damn reason.
I'm sorry.
No, they're always
we're
in the talking sphere.
a bit of a broad strokes NFL show.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely a broad stroke and an easy one to hit. Okay, but let's get to some thoughts from you guys. So we've latched on. Let's just have this discussion for a few minutes. The bench Dylan Raiola situation.
Okay, bench the guy we know to move around all the time from place to place.
Okay. Let's try to keep that out of the equation as much as we can.
Okay. I'll try my best.
So here's an email from Bullet Point Bob.
Hey, BPB.
Conan. How can you simultaneously speculate that an underperforming Raiola might be injured, and that is what is leading to his subpar play?
That was me for the record.
Yeah, I have a clarifying statement on that.
Okay.
And also chastise people for wanting to see what Harburg can do. I don't care if Nebraska wins or loses. Win, people are happy, and game day get-togethers are more fun. Lose in their typical bungling fashion, and that's pretty funny. But, geez, Bob. But it is pretty clear that Harburg deserves to play a few series or simply step in to quarterback the offense once they get inside of the 20. Yeah, Raiola is the future, but he's not quarterbacking this team to wins and certainly not generating points. No run game and a Wolfle zone, red zone offense should equate to giving Harburg a shot. So the team has a better chance to win now. Don't worry about Raiola developing into a fully realized golden boy of victory right now.
If only I had, I don't know, like a year or 2/3 of a year's worth of tape on what it is Heinrich Harburg can do. I seen it.
So here's Joel. And I've heard a lot of this.
Hi, Joel. Sorry.
If he is injured, he being Dylan. Oh, come on, Josh, hit me. Give me a little
the music.
Dylan.
There we go. He does not.
Because I spit hot
He
fire.
doesn't do that anymore. Joel says, if he is injured, if that's Allan, we'll probably just skip it. If he is injured, it's obviously making him ineffective. I'm willing to see what it looks like with a healthy backup. I also got tired of watching an injured Adrian Martinez thinking, will a less talented backup really look worse than him hobbling around out there? So let me sort of say this first. I am operating as if Dylan Raiola is healthy. I think he has the normal wear and tear from a season. I think the biggest thing that's hampering him at this moment is his lack of confidence. Something that you hope that a new offensive coordinator can get him back rolling. Like I said on Saturday, I felt, and I know a lot of people didn't feel this way, I felt as if it was a step in the right direction for him. He still misses a lot. And I still don't think he's back to his normal self. But I'm not doing the injury thing right now. I think if they put him out there on Saturday, he's good enough, right? So I'm not giving him the built-in excuse of like, oh, well, he's hurt right now. I'm not doing that. I believe on his merits, he's better than every other quarterback in the room.
Well, gee, what would give you that idea, Connor? Is it that his stars equal the amount of stars in the room total?
Well, that does have it's a factor. Yeah,
Kalen's got quite a few stars by his name.
Yeah, he's got
as well.
4. He's got 4 of them.
But you know what I mean.
Harburg had 3 or 4, so you're wrong, Josh, idiot.
I'm always wrong.
Always wrong. Grahamstead, I don't think had any. But I want to play Dylan Raiola. Obviously, there's the added benefit of figuring it out over the last 2 games and then having him in a better place for next year, and then obviously having him here next year. But like I said, I want to try and keep that separate from the conversation. I just think he's Nebraska's best option. I want to see him dig out of this hole.
Just like Matt Rule and the senior defensive back.
I want to see him dig out of this hole. I think this is an important moment for a young quarterback in his development. I didn't think it would hit him this hard. Most quarterbacks of his ilk, of his caliber, don't get hit with this.
Right.
They don't. They never have it this hard.
It's usually a pretty smooth transition.
They never have it this hard. I shouldn't say never. They rarely have it this hard. Especially at a place where Dylan could have been. They would have benched Carson Beck already and put Dylan Raiola in the game, and he would have been just fine.
Absolutely.
Right? That's a totally different track for his career. So this is different. I think he's the most capable of them, and I think when he's in the game and Dana Holgorsen is your offensive coordinator, also, you are building towards something. Isn't that the ultimate goal? I know Nebraska wants to get to 6, but I just don't think putting Heinrich Harburg in to be the starting quarterback helps you get any closer to where you want to go. I just don't. Using him in the red zone is a different conversation. Whatever you got to do to score points, score points. I just don't think taking Dylan Raiola out of the game as the starter helps you get better as an offense.
Seems counterproductive.
I mean, look at what happened with the offense last year, to Josh's point. So I
understand.
I just think Dylan Raiola is better, and I want to play him. I don't feel like that's a crime.
I understand it from the very small aspect of, hey, when those receivers fail to get separation, Heinrich Harburg can improvise something with his legs that Dylan can't.
That's true.
I guess I get that. But that's a very small part of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, even in Dylan's current state, I still would rather have Dylan Raiola throwing the football than Heinrich Harburg.
Definitely.
We got one Heinrich Harburg drive at the end of the UCLA game, and they worked it down the field a little bit. They converted a nice 4th down. He got one off over the middle. I think it was to Banks, and he threw a pick. Is that better? I'm not trying to minimize it just to one possession, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, why this is a thought process that is so prevalent.
I think people like his story versus the
really
the silver spoon.
You want to play a worse quarterback because of a story?
Boy, we like people that have our shared experience, do we not?
Dylan Raiola's dad was an All-American. His name's on the wall.
Silver spoon.
I don't get it. All of a sudden we do we
he
not
never
like
had it. He was never given a bootstrap.
Do we not like him as a person? Like, does he make too much NIL money? Really, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. I can't figure it out. Do you not like him exclusively because, or do you want to go to the other guy exclusively because the one guy makes more NIL money than the other guy? Because he definitely does.
I think it's, we were told he'd be awesome and he's not awesome yet. And we like to fire coaches, and this is the same mentality of next.
Why is he not awesome? Let's evaluate that.
I was told
maybe because their offensive coordinator
sucked.
Sucked.
Maybe the O-line ain't spectacular.
Maybe it's a lot of things.
Maybe it's the turf he's playing on when he should be playing on grass.
Put in grass. Maybe it's the fact that South Stadium exists. Mm-hmm. Tear down that wall.
Mr. Gorbabov.
Mr. Yogurt. Speaking of Mr. Yogurt, we'll hear from him in the noon hour of the show. We do have a call that we'll have to. Greg in Myrtle Beach is waiting. If Greg in Myrtle Beach can hang on like 10 minutes for me, we'll get to him. Okay, we do have to. We're going to do the odd news quickly, Josh.
Oh, okay.
So if Greg in Myrtle Beach wants to call back, we'll get with them. But we'll take calls. We'd like to hear from you all.
Love it.
951-1620. We're back after this with the odd news on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
All right, Josh, let's knock out the odd news. What do we have today?
We begin with a little aftermath from that, that Netflix show on Friday.
Yep, bad show.
Mike Tyson scored a boatload of cash for his fight against Jake Paul. But if he wants to add a bit more on top, all he's got to do is
die.
Show us that keister one more time.
Oh, really? Is OnlyFans offering him a deal or something?
A similar website is saying that they will give the boxer $250,000 for another shot at that ass. All he's got to do is flash his derriere on a live webcam show for 1 hour.
The whole hour?
The whole hour? Now, the CEO said in an offer letter to the boxer, I understand this offer may be a far cry from what you just raked in from the fight, but let's face it, maybe it's time to hang up the gloves. I think this offer is the perfect way to still get in front of people and perform in a different, less strenuous way. Plus, you don't have to worry about anyone biting or going after your ears. Odd thing to include when you're trying to get the man to do you a favor.
You're just trying to get him to fight you or something. He was very forthcoming in saying on, what was it, Friday night or Saturday night? Friday night.
That's right. Friday.
Like he just did this because he had to feed his family. Wanted to feed his family. At a certain point, he decided, I'm out of gas. Let me take a couple here and get out of here. It's no big deal. I'm 58 years old. I don't really like this. This doesn't count for anything. My legacy isn't tarnished, but he doesn't care about legacy. So let's take this. What was it? $20 million?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep, see you later. So I don't think he needs the 250 G's.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like a big enough
Probably good
payday for him. You remember a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest?
Yes, I do.
Chicago held a Jeremy Allen White lookalike contest. He would be the chef from The Bear.
Mm-hmm. Chef.
A 37-year-old mental health therapist was dubbed the winner of Chicago's Jeremy Allen White lookalike contest. And the grand prize, $50 and a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Okay. So, the Jeremy Allen White lookalike contest looks a lot like the winner who won the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest.
There's certainly some crossover, I imagine. Albany Park roommates Kelsey Casero and Taylor Vasky originally advertised the event with flyers that were supposed to be a joke, but the contest became a reality after it started to gain traction on social media. Most participants in the Humboldt Park contest on Saturday dressed in the signature kitchen garb of Chef Carmy from The Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Shabbat, 37 years young, mental health therapist from Glenview, claimed the top prize. He said people first started remarking on his resemblance to White during the actor's tenure on the show Shameless.
The actor.
But he told the local TV station he started to get it all the time 3 weeks after The Bear premiered because he had the same hairstyle.
So there has been now a brief but pretty extensive history of lookalike contests. Would you like to hear who people have emulated?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we started with Timothy Chalamet on October 27th in New York. Then the lookalike contest went global on November 7th as Dubliners assembled in Smithfield Square to compete for the title of Best Paul Mescal lookalike.
Oh, okay.
All right. 25-year-old Jack Wall O'Reilly won that contest. November 9th, the Harry Styles lookalike contest took place in London Soho Square. November 10th,
a lot of scarves, I imagine.
South Asian men gathered in San Francisco's Dolores Park to emulate the actor Dev Patel.
Oh, okay.
I like that guy. That's what's his name from the Newsroom? Neil.
Oh, okay.
He's also in Life of Pi.
Yes, that's the one people usually go to.
What do they call the tiger again? They have a name for the tiger that I always laughed at. It was very funny. It was like a full name.
Richard Parker.
Richard Parker. Richard Parker. They called the tiger Richard Parker.
That's right.
Jeremy Allen White contest in Chicago. Hundreds attended on November 17th, 2 days ago, the Zayn Malik lookalike contest in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Tomorrow, there will actually be a Zendaya lookalike contest in Wilma Chan Park in Oakland.
Oh, that's kind of interesting, actually, because she doesn't look like a lot of people.
And then next week this weekend, there will be a lookalike contest for characters Art Donaldson and Patrick Zweig, played by Mike Feist and Josh O'Connor in the 2024 film Challengers at the Westwood Park Tennis Courts in Los Angeles for a $50 cash prize. December 8th, there will be a JFK lookalike contest in Boston. $50 cash prize.
Careful, everybody. Careful.
So there's your if you look like any of those people, I got a place for you.
You got to get the Zendaya winner and the Challengers winners together and reenact that love triangle.
And the Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Is he involved in that?
No, not in that particular movie, but he seems to fit.
Seems like he's in that category.
Definitely. Kyler Murray.
New Call of Duty just came out.
Tricked a bunch of people this weekend in New York City. In a video posted by Murray's social media manager, the 27-year-old is seen chatting with a stranger outside the popular Joe's Pizza in New York City. Murray then struck a reaction when giving a solid verdict to the highly praised product. What do you think, bro? He asked the man on his right, sharing the outdoor table. Not bad, he responds. When Murray asked his newfound friend what he got, he said, 1 pepperoni, 1 normal one.
Nice.
The interaction took
plain. It's called plain.
Interaction took an awkward turn once Murray realized the man had no idea that he was talking to an NFL quarterback. A rare occurrence for the video game playing Kyler Murray.
He is pretty nondescript. I remember when he was here for the College World Series when Oklahoma was here 2 years ago. He was wearing
sweatpants,
pajama pants.
Yeah, that's right.
And he kind of lets his beard grow out a little bit, like pretty nondescript.
The two exchanged questions between bites, and the man later revealed that his name was Surya and he came from Switzerland. Murray would share his name and ask how to spell it. He'd say, hey, we want to share this online. How do you spell your name? So we get it right. Later on, they continued to break down the pizza as Murray claimed it needed some ranch as the pie was too saucy. The other man agreed, saying it was a bit sweet for his liking. Murray added, the bread ain't breading.
So this is all on like a TikTok or something?
Yeah.
They have those TikToks where the people go up to people on the streets of New York or whatever, and they're like, what do you do for a living? How much money do you make? But it's clearly set up, Oh, look, I just happened to run into, Brad Pitt coming out of the, what do you do for a living?
How much money you make?
How much money you make? It's like, I'm an actor. Thank you. It's like, yeah, you set this up, but that's okay. This one seemed pretty organic.
Yes, the man from Switzerland even asked him, so you just go around testing different pizzas or you just eat it this one?
That's my job.
And he said, Murray responded, nah, just enjoying New York.
He should have said, no, I play football in the National Football League.
I play Call of Duty. Here's my gamer tag.
I won the Heisman once. Google me. What if you would have dropped the Google me?
I am a little surprised that is not caught on the way I thought it would.
I know.
People just ending a sentence with the dismount.
Well, nobody wants
Google
to.
me.
Nobody wants to be like Signetti. I get it.
Apparently.
All right, back in the noon hour. Still plenty to come in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Noon hour, the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Don't forget that we are partnering with Circa Resort and Casino to hook you up with Creighton tickets for this season. You can win a pair of tickets to each of the Creighton men's basketball conference home games. That's 10 basketball games.
Oh,
on our website, thanks to Circa Resort and Casino. Head to 1620thezone.com right now to give yourself an opportunity to do so. We are back in the noon hour of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com, and we'll take a phone call from Greg in Myrtle Beach. Greg, thanks for holding. What's going on?
Happy Thanksgiving, boys.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Hey, I wanted to touch base with you. First of all, as I always tell Sip, life's about leverage. The kid and his family and Zuck, his agent, have leverage, of course. And Rules, unfortunately, got leverage over us with that crappy 8-year contract we were stupid enough to give him. So thanks a bunch, Super Trev. I saw him when the Cox pounded it all over Texas A&M a couple weeks ago, and I gave him an earful that I don't think he really appreciated, but who cares? So let's get down. So let's get down to brass tacks, because I listen to what I now call Big Red underreaction, because apparently nobody in the entire state of Nebraska is going to ever call in and complain about all this fecal football and crap coaching that we have to watch from week to week. And I just wonder how long the great people of Nebraska are going to stand for it. You know, look at that game. Now, this is an NFL coach, right? A veteran NFL coach. So explain to us, Coach, the crappy clock and timeout management, how you've wasted your coaches' challenges all year. And once again, our NFL guru guy got out-coached again, didn't he? He sure did. So if you look at the NFL, what's the key to success there? It's X's and O's. It's roster management, which is buying players, which is legal in college now. And you have to win close games due to parity, right? So rightfully, we fired Scott Frost for not being able to ever get us over the hump. Remember, we're the best 3-8 team ever. We need some Bette Midler wind beneath our wings crap. Remember that?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Right. So as I mentioned to you, and remember, I told you from day one about that. Remember, what did we hear? Oh, jilted Gamecock fan. What a crock of crap. I told you, didn't I? Now, I've watched every game that Middle School Rule has coached the last 5 years. So let's see. Check it out. How is it that Rule is going to coach our lousy 35-year-old kids almost on Social Security to win these close games? Okay, because what I've noticed is in the close games that, by the way, are won by coaching wins close games. He's 1 for 8 in Lincoln in close games, right?
I believe that's right.
But wait. Yeah, but wait, there's more. Since 2020, in one-score games, do you know what Matt Rule's record is? 1-24. Matt Rule is 1-24 in one-score games the last 5 years, the games that we have to win, and he's supposed to be able to teach our players to win when he can't coach to win any of them. Plus, he's 0 for November in Lincoln in 2 years. So our new fight song needs to be I'll Be Home for Christmas, because our men's athletic department is the most underachieving piece of garbage in America by miles. We're the Enron of college sports. We have the longest streak without a bowl game by 2 years, and we're still the only team to never win one lousy NCAA tournament basketball game. And some of us with kahunas find that unacceptable. So, to paraphrase Winston Churchill, never have so many spent so much for so little. And now what do we get? This, we have to make a bowl game. That crap proves how terrible the entire program is. What a lousy milestone. There are 47 bowl games. So 94 teams make a bowl game. That's right, 94. And now that's our dream, a program with 5 national championships, countless All-Americans and Heisman Trophy winners. It's an embarrassing joke. And thousands of our great loyal fans travel everywhere with 173 reporters behind them. And I'm at some of these games, and people, you know, who are my friends who are agents and media and fans, they all say, do they not know they suck this century? I mean, the whole place in Lincoln is a damn graveyard for coaching, and our crap athletic department has more turnover than Walmart. And I'm going to tell you one last little tidbit. The true fact is that middle school Matt Rule has exactly one conference championship in his career, right? One in the AAC.
At Temple, yeah.
And guess what? Yeah, and guess what? Scott Frost won that league twice. Look it up. And he went to the Sugar Bowl and won. So you better wake up and realize that your diehard fans are on life support, and we have freaking had it. We've had it with this crap. Quit hiring bums out there. If you need to hire a real coach, call me. I'll help you because that's what I do. I could have done a better job search for my freaking hammock underneath the pier with seagulls than Trev Alberts did hiring this bum. And you let him have the damn leverage over you because you couldn't hire anybody worth of crap. And we told you this from day one. So now you'll go through $100 million more dollars, and maybe somebody out there will finally figure it out. And I appreciate your show. What we want is a program half as good as your show.
Amen, Greg. To the last part. Thank you for the call. To the last part.
Rack 'em.
Feel like a therapist. I understand your frustration. So Matt Rule in one-score games. Let's just do a little quick fact check here, real quick.
I don't think it's as bad as 1 in 24, but it's 1 in something.
So
right?
he's using Panthers games.
Oh, okay,
obviously.
Okay. Then yeah, that might be the number.
So he is 14 and 28 career in one-score games. College.
Man plays a lot of one-score games. My God.
He's coached 112 games in college, and what's that? 42 of them are one-score games, and he's lost. He's got it. You know, he's lost 75% of them. Right? Isn't that no? He's lost half of them. No, 14 and 28. 14 out of 42. That's 25% winning percentage, right?
That sounds right. Yeah,
but. And I always throw this in there. He's 1 in 14 in one-score losses or one-score games in year ones. So if you take out his 3 year ones at Temple, Baylor, and Nebraska, he's 1 in 14. So if you take out the year ones and you just go the rest of his career at Temple, the rest of his career at Baylor, and the rest of his career at Nebraska, he's 13 and 14, which is normal. You win half of the one-score games you play, you lose half of the one-score games.
Okay, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
One-score game by
it's a
virtue of the law, it's a coin flip. Right.
Yeah.
So if you do years 2, 3, and they won, I mean, at Baylor let's go back to Temple. So let's start in his second year at Temple. Lost a one-score game. So he played 3 one-score games in his second year at Temple and lost all of those as well. And then in his third year at Temple, he played in only 2 one-score games, went 1-1. His fourth year at Temple, wow, he was not good in one-score games at Temple. His fourth year at Temple, he was 1-2 in one-score games. Then at Baylor, obviously, in his first year, they went 1-11. So we'll just skip over that. Year 2, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 in one-score games. Year 3 at Baylor, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 5-1, 5-2. Both of those losses were to Oklahoma. We talked about those games last week. And here at Nebraska in his second year, they have won one one-score game, and it was against the Gers this year. Remember when it was really windy?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So, by the way, we got a text during that.
Yes, we did.
What's Greg's X handle? I want to follow him.
Oh. I don't know.
He's out there somewhere. He's got eyes. Do you think he really went up to Trev and was like, "You suck" or whatever? Thanks for giving us middle school rule.
I'm sorry. I've just seen a photo of Dana at the podium.
Oh, what? Is he wearing a hat?
He's wearing a hat. He's wearing a jacket. He's wearing that life preserver over the zip up jacket.
It's called a vest, right?
Yeah, but
he looks great.
It's all a look.
He's a little different from some of Nebraska's other coaches.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Get some more texts here. Here's Chris in South Carolina.
Hi, Chris in South Carolina.
Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina.
That's right. That was my confusion.
Yep. Chris says, "Yikes! I bet Greg is an absolute blast at tailgate parties." I like Greg's passion.
I'll bet Greg's got.
I bet Greg is a blast actually at tailgate.
I'll bet
parties.
he's got the good stuff.
Yeah, because that was his point right out of the gate. He was like, "I listen to your guys' Big Red Overreaction program, and I'm paraphrasing, but why aren't you guys more mad? Why are you guys so sad?" Well, Greg, we're worn out. It's very tiresome to live here.
I'm tired. I'm just so
tired. We
tired.
don't have palm trees.
No.
We have football, and we pour everything into football, and football hurts us.
By the time we
and so that's why Big Red Overreaction is sad.
Mhm.
It's not a happy place.
Right. By the time we realize the season isn't going to go our way, it's gray and cold and crappy outside. It gets dark at 4:30.
That's right. And there's no other things to do.
Right.
There's just basketball.
Nebraska basketball.
Which, to his point, has never won an NCAA tournament game.
People forget.
People do forget that. Norm says Nebraska fans are soft snowflakes. I don't even know what that was in reference to. Let's see. From Jesse, imagine how intimidating you would be if you didn't have the Southern accent to soften what he was saying. That guy's awesome.
Great point.
Do you think that guy's called in to enter the smack off? Clothes.
Yeah, I do.
Probably.
He's no Matt Schick.
He could rip him. That's for sure. Greg was fired up today.
Would you like a quote from the Holgo presser?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When asked why he took the job, he responded, "I was bored."
That's awesome. I mean, I like that. That man tells the truth. Fremont Fred writes in.
Hi, Fremont Fred.
LMAO at Connor Happer. So if you remove all these losses from year one, Rules record isn't so bad. LMFAO.
I don't know if that's exactly what you were saying, but
I'm going off of what Rule has said. Rule has told us in the past, hey, look, it's hard year one. Okay. It's hard.
I imagine that's true.
It's gonna be really, really hard year one. But after that, we'll get better. So I'm just using his logic exemplified in statistical form. It has been hard for him in year one. But it's routinely been easier after that. This year, not so much. Is Nebraska better or worse this year than they were last year? There's a question you didn't want to argue with.
You said it very well earlier in the show. They are marginally better.
They're marginally better.
They don't have the turnovers.
Well, they kind of do.
Although we're trending that way.
They're getting really, really close to it. All right, some more emails. TC writes in.
Hi, TC.
Get off the phone, Mike Gundy. Is that Mike Gundy's brother on the call? LOL. Peace, TC. Also TC. Bald man with a beard. Josh, would you please get the picture of Max the Miner from the Denver Nuggets? My guy with the pick, with the ice pick.
Yeah, he's been on a crusade to get me to...
What's that guy's name from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? That's my guy.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah.
That's my guy. He takes his ice pick and he licks it. What a weirdo. Jim writes in.
Hi, Jim.
Rule is a snake oil salesman.
Whoa.
Everyone knows it.
Everyone knows
Alberts knew he would fail, hired him as a joke, and then left. Now, that would be wild.
What a scenario you've laid out.
This is a hard time. It's very difficult around here right now, Josh.
We've reached the grasping at straws.
Trev did this. He left us. I blame him. And he actually did it on purpose.
He saboed the program on his way out the door.
He saboed the thing. I believe that Trev Alberts had good intentions when he hired Matt Rule. And I think Matt Rule has good intentions right now. I don't think he's selling you snake oil.
Yeah, but Connor, as a wise man named Ned Flanders once said, me and my family can't live off of good intentions.
That's right. Good intentions only get you so far, Josh.
That's right.
At the end of the day, we're going to have some results now, aren't we?
We are.
Speaking of snakes.
All right.
That's right.
Where are we going?
Very topical. Back to the Vidya, Josh.
Oh, the Vidya.
There's Matt Rule yesterday on if he feels as if he's been bitten by a snake.
That was the first play where, it's cover 3 and guy scrams around, the guy gets behind Tommy. The touchdown over top of Malcolm's head. It's cover 2 with a safety that chases a route. That's a veteran secondary that didn't play very well in those key moments. And I think they'd be the first to tell you that they're really upset with themselves. The deep touchdown, to number 2, that should never be a touchdown. I mean, those are all simple day 1 routes. So we had every opportunity, so again, and I always say, because I'm always very careful what to call out and what not to, but my point to our guys is this. I think after the game, when you guys asked me, do you feel snake bit? No, I expect our cover 2 safety to play cover 2. And I expect our cover 3 corner to stay deep. And if we had done that in that game, those plays would have been eliminated. I mean, that young man was running away from MJ. I expect us to sack him on the first long play down the right side. I'm not so sure he wasn't even just trying to throw the ball away, and he just kind of got caught. So we're not snake bit. We're not unlucky. There's no curse. You got to play the defense called. If it's cover 3, play cover 3. You don't guess and play cover 4. So that's there weren't a lot of times. There weren't a lot of times where it was like, hey, we just, we're playing man, we just can't cover this guy. It wasn't that. It was those things. So those near misses are all, to me, they're all of our own doing, Mitch.
Not snake bit. Just have to be better. It's going to keep getting harder before it gets easier, I think. For this team.
No.
It does feel like this week is sort of like a breaking point of, oh boy, it either is broken forever or
wow, you hate referendum on the program games.
Well, how bad do they need to win this game?
As much as you need air.
Is that what you would deem worthy of a referendum game?
Yeah, I mean,
I do need air. I needed it a lot. I need a lot. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night. Recently, I just actually a couple days ago, I just remembered this just now. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't breathe. I was going, and then I caught my breath. My wife's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. Go back to bed."
You got the apnea?
I don't know. It's happened a couple times in the last couple of years. Now my mom's gonna be worried about me. She's probably listening to this show. Is like, Connor, you got problems. What's going on? But that's how bad Nebraska needs a win. They're like me breathing.
Happens to me a lot, Connor.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
This happens to people? Please say that out loud.
Well,
my mom's going to want to hear that.
Well, no, it happens, but like I probably have sleep apnea and need to get that taken care of or I will die in my sleep.
Well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
I mean, I'm trying to be on your side here, but I mean, you should see a doctor.
No, it doesn't happen. It's not like it happens all the time. And I know if I check WebMD and it says I woke up in the middle of the night, I couldn't breathe, and be like, "You're dead."
How are you typing this right now?
That's Nebraska right now. They need to win like a person who has undiagnosed sleep apnea needs a sleep apnea mask. That's how bad they need it.
That's really bad, though.
That's really bad. You don't even know how bad it is. It's that bad.
The comparison is hilarious and fitting.
All right. Let's talk about the NFL. That'll make us feel better, right?
Yeah, sure. Go Lions.
Unless you're a Bears fan, of course. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
I got a tweet here from Holly.
Hi, Holly.
Holly, I believe, was the winner of our 4-quarter pick'em last week.
Oh, and her favorite show was the Connor Happer Show.
Great show.
Great taste Holly has.
By the way, did we announce our week 10 winner, our final winner of 4-quarter pick'em, John?
I believe it was supposed to happen today, and if it didn't, you just did.
Congratulations, John. You should be hearing from us shortly. John, and there's a lot of people named John out there. You're just going to have to guess which one. All Johns are on the edge of their seat right now.
1 million people.
But here's Holly's tweet.
Hi, Holly.
Do take a home sleep test. I know the whole thing with sleep apnea is a pain. My picky husband wasn't about to do it, but he gave in. It made a huge difference. You'll feel better, feel more rested. Unfortunately, this will not fix the football problem. It's a vicious cycle. The football makes me stressed, and the stress makes me football. Then I get sleep apnea, and I didn't even know about it. I got a
home sleep test, huh?
Yeah. Josh is interested.
I'll pick us up a couple.
There are a lot of quotes. Should we do an on-air sleep test on the crossover one day? Can we do that?
I think both of us would have to be asleep.
Well, you could have a camera on me.
I can sleep literally anywhere, so it's not a problem for me. That might also be another one of my many health problems.
Also, by the way, different Holly. We have 2 Hollies.
What a flex.
Shout out to all the Hollies. All my Hollies out there. Many quotes from Dana Holgerson today. Here's one. Quote, I found a young kid today that I think could help us on Saturday. Holgerson said while answering a question about getting to know the personnel. So keep your eyes open for that. This whole Dana Holgerson thing is really fun because he has no idea who any of these people are and therefore does not carry any of the baggage of knowing what any of them are able to do well or not do well. He's just literally going off of practice. And he clearly has the autonomy to say, all right, go in the game. Would you like to go in the game? Go in the game.
I will put you in the game.
I'll put you in the game.
I promise to recruit nothing.
I'm the person responsible for putting you in the game. Would you like to go in the game? Yes.
Here's a quote.
Yeah, the I was bored quote was pretty solid too.
Dana Holgerson said last week was the best perimeter blocking the Huskers have shown all year. After he told the wide receivers they wouldn't play without blocking. I said, you guys are fairly big kids. Why are you not blocking on the perimeter? It's embarrassing.
It is. He was so right. I like this.
There's a lot of people that have gotten in our YouTube chat in the last week.
Are they mad at Tiny Baby Boy?
No, but they have said bleep your feelings the last few weeks. Boy, it seems like Dana is.
I don't think Dana possesses feelings.
Yeah, no.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
Too many feelings in that program.
Program could use that.
Yep. All right, Josh, let's do some NFL reaction, overreaction.
Oh, yeah. Would love to.
See what the writers have cooked up for us today. Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams is coming up here in just a moment as well.
Definitely.
What do we got?
The Chiefs will not be the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs.
All right, so the Chiefs are 9-1. They have taken their first loss of the year. They did not go undefeated this year. You know,
they were so close.
Going to take some shots. Buffalo with the win, 9-2. Pittsburgh, 8-2. That's right, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They just keep doing it.
In contention still. The Los Angeles Chargers, 7-3.
Very good.
The Houston Texans, 7-4. The Baltimore Ravens, 7-4. Those are the teams that are in the running. Keep in mind that the Chiefs are still due a slew of divisional games.
They're 3-0 in their division right now.
They still have the Raiders, which that's not anything. I mean, you could go ahead and sneeze at that one. But they do have the Chargers, the Texans, the Steelers, and the Broncos in the final 6 weeks of the season. All tough games. Final 7 weeks of the season, all tough games. The Bills have their bye coming up this week. I think if you want to tell me that the Bills are the better team, that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead. There's a lot of people around here who like to disrespect the Chiefs for sport. It seems. No disrespect for me. This is an overreaction. The Chiefs will be the 1 seed. Their division is good now. I mean, that is definitely the Bills division sucks.
Yeah.
The Chiefs division is good.
Chiefs are still a game ahead of the Bills, though.
That's right.
Well, I guess half a game. They have the same number of wins.
That's right, because the Bills have a tiebreaker.
I'll go with the. I'll be different. I'll go with the Bills, just to be different. The Bills have had home field.
There's no conviction behind that.
Exactly. The Bills have had home field before, and it's meant exactly nothing.
All right. Question number 2.
Number 2. Justin Tucker will hold the Ravens back.
Justin Tucker is low-key a problem for the Baltimore Ravens. If you haven't been seeing this on Sundays, if you watch him play the Steelers on Sunday, you saw that. Justin Tucker, the formerly known as best kicker in the NFL, one of the best of all time,
that's right,
has missed 6 field goals on the season now, more than he has in any full season of kicks since 2015. He missed 2 on Sunday against Pittsburgh. Keep in mind that the Ravens lost by 2 points. They could have used those 6.
They didn't allow a touchdown and lost to Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they need to have that in their formula, especially in that division. And if you're going toe-to-toe with the Steelers for that thing, a team that, just kind of Iowa's their way.
They really do.
Great
comp,
They
actually.
just don't mess up. They don't mess up. They have competent enough quarterback play. They run the football. Najee's running like a tough SOB right now. He's going boom, 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 boom. He's kind of like Isaiah Pacheco in that way.
Kind of like the Costco guy. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. This is a problem. Justin Tucker is a problem right now. Keep an eye on this. I know it's not normal for you to watch Justin Tucker miss field goals, but it keeps happening. And he's been a below average kicker in the NFL this year. This is something that the Ravens have always had. Look at how far it's gotten them for the, it's not very far, right? But they've been a really, really successful team basically since he's been there.
We go to number 3. The Falcons will not win the NFC South.
So the Falcons had their core shaken a little bit on Sunday when they were destroyed by the Denver Broncos. The Falcons are 6-5. The Bucs are 4-6. But if you wipe clean the records, who's the better team? Who do you trust more? Who do you like more? I know the Bucs are injured and they have problems, but I just think they really could. I mean, they're not going to get Godwin back. They need to get Evans back.
Bucs have lost 5 of 6.
I know, but I still like that team. They just might be too beat up at the end of the day. That division might in default go to Atlanta.
Neither team has a really difficult remaining schedule.
Really?
Bucs have Giants, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints.
And keep in mind,
only one of those games sounded tough to me.
The Bucs are coming out of a pretty hellish stretch here.
Right.
Where they played the Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs, and Niners. Now the Niners I don't think are any good, but that's a different story.
You're right. I still trust the Bucs more. I don't know.
But
it's total vibes thing.
They are a game and a half back at this point. So they'll need, I don't know. I just like the vibe. I like the look of that team better, but they might not be healthy enough at the end of the day.
Let's see what they got going on. They don't play each other anymore. I was going to say, would that be your Sunday night special the last week of the season?
No, they've already played each other twice, and Atlanta's won both times.
There with that idea.
Yeah, but they've both been really good games.
The Eagles are Super Bowl contenders.
I don't know. I can't do it.
No, absolutely not.
But they're good. They're so good. They're good.
That thing is a house of cards. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts hate each other.
Jalen Hurts just hates everybody.
That also might be true.
He just has a weird disposition about him.
We need to start asking that question too.
Did you see him go on Van Pelt after the Thursday night game?
No.
So he goes, they had just beaten Washington. Van Pelt's a DMV guy. And they do the interview and whatever. And Jalen Hurts, he's wearing sunglasses and it kind of looks funny. And he just goes, How you feeling, SVP? And Van Pelt like kind of loses his breath. He's like, whoa, what are you talking about? What are you talking? He like says a bunch of words in a very short period of time, and Hurts just goes, I was just asking. It always feels like he's really serious.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, that it does feel like a bit of a high-strung team to me. But they have a good defense. They have Saquon Barkley. They have AJ Brown. They have Devontae Smith. What's not to like? I think I'm ready to call him a title contender. I wouldn't put him over Detroit, but they're the best team in that division, as they've made clear by their win over Washington.
Their only win that is worth a hoot, that Brazil game against the Packers.
Oh, they beat the Commanders. The Commanders are good.
And the Commanders.
Yeah. And the Bengals are a tough out.
I hear what you're saying, man.
And they smashed the Bucks.
Also, is it entirely possible that the NFC only has one Super Bowl contender?
No, it is not possible.
No?
No. The Lions are the best team for sure.
I mean,
but somebody's gonna run at them. Somebody's gonna run at them. You watch. Oh, he beat the Jags by 100 points. All right, the Lions are really, really good. They're the best team right now, for sure, in the NFC. But I wouldn't be surprised if Philly gave them a game. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington gave them a game. I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota gave them a game.
Those divisional games in the playoffs will be tough.
Yeah, always are.
Final one. Aaron Rodgers will not play for the Jets in 2025.
So their GM got fired.
Their coach got fired.
But Aaron Rodgers is on the books for a lot of money in 2025. Is there a way out of this? Now,
that's actually a good question. I don't know.
You would have to, if it's the Jets' decision, you would have to pay him a lot of money. I sort of wondered from Rodgers' position. Does Rodgers want to go back? Does he want to play anymore? First, you have to answer that question.
Okay.
If he says yes, I'd still like to play. Do you think he'd like to play his last year for the Jets? And that's not going anywhere? I don't think so.
I think he would leave before he got cut or dealt or whatever.
So then you're exploring trade situations.
Mm-hmm.
They could also they would get a little bit of salary cap retribution, like if they so Rodgers could, I was reading this from CBS Sports last night. Rodgers could be designated as a post June 1 cut, which actually saves the Jets $9.5 million against the 2025 cap, and it frees his deal from the books. Obviously, they're still on the hook for what, $15 million for Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
But do you pay the fee, cut bait, and what does he do? Right? Because it's not a player option. It's a full on like guaranteed deal at this point.
I'm looking at
he gets the money.
I'm looking at the standings of the entire league. The Jets are in that weird place where they're not bad enough to have a truly desirable draft pick. They would draft 7th right now. And then I'm looking at the top of the standings. I'm like, okay, where could I put Aaron Rodgers in? And just that team would be like, oh my gosh, we're a contender.
Good question.
I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean the other thing, but
I don't see the fit.
But he's not going to come to that conclusion.
No, no.
He's like, I'm badass. I'm Aaron Rodgers. But what he doesn't realize is he's like the 18th best quarterback in the NFL right now. So would you rather have a replacement level guy without all the drama and then reset the next year? Or would you rather throw all your chips into betting on 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers and then potentially risk your franchise being in shambles the year after?
Many are saying just send him to the Giants.
Okay, that would be objectively funny. That would be pretty funny.
I don't see.
All right, Aaron, go to the other, go across the field, other locker room. That's for you.
Locker room.
Mhm.
I don't see any way, unless they can't unload him, which then I think he would just retire. I don't see any way he's on the Jets next year.
Oh, I see a way. He likes money.
I mean, unless they hire some truly incompetent people at coach and GM, which is entirely possible.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can pretty much bet on it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Jets, right?
It'd be an interesting one to watch. But there is definitely a path to him not being there. I also think there's a path to him being there. The Jets have to answer a lot of questions about themselves. Question for you coming up here in the next few weeks. All right. That is NFL Reaction, Overreaction. We appreciate the writers as always. We're back with Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams coming up on 1620 The Zone. So many people are trying to figure out who the mystery new player that Dana Holgerson discovered is.
It's just somebody that's new to him, right?
Yeah, it's not a new player on the team. They don't have any of those at this point. This guy's been around.
I saw this guy outside, looks like Patrick Mahomes. I said, can you ball?
No, that's your starting quarterback. That's Dylan Raiola. So people could come up with like a list of like, all right, who's he talking about? Now, knowing Dana Holgerson, I don't believe he's talking about like an offensive lineman, right?
Okay.
He's probably either talking about a running back or a wide receiver.
Seems to be the areas of focus for him, yes.
The following running backs or wide receivers have played in under 4 games for Nebraska football this year. The list, as I'm scrolling it right now. Maurice Mazuka, 2 games.
All right.
He's got 2 left. Jaden Doss, 1 game. Malachi Coleman, 1 game. Makai Nelson, 1 game. Quinn Clark,
Quinn,
1 game. Isaiah McMorris, 1 game. Keelan Smith, 1 game. Pretty much guarantee that it's that the person Dana Holgerson is referring to is one of those people. And it's probably either Quinn Clark or Malachi Coleman. Or I suppose, because he also talked about how the running backs have missed holes and whatever.
That's right.
Makai Nelson got some run a couple weeks ago by Rule. He's free and clear to play now since he's played under 4 and there's 2 games left. He's played 1. And then Maurice Mazuka has been a guy who's been a walk-on. He's kind of there all the way around. They don't want to mess up his red shirt, I suppose. Either, I don't know. But it's probably Quinn Clark. If I had to guess, it's probably Quinn Clark. Josh's favorite name of a person, Quinn.
Quinn.
Yeah.
Baymont
says I'm going with Carter Nelson. Carter, he has access to, he knows who Carter Nelson is already. He didn't find Carter Nelson. Carter Nelson played on Saturday.
I'll follow that guy on Twitter. He's great. Carter879246.
D. Ocho says it's Jalen Lloyd. He knows who Jalen Lloyd caught an important pass for Nebraska on Saturday. He didn't just discover Jalen Lloyd just now.
New guy, though, Connor. New.
He's not new.
What if he saw him in the
He's
stats?
Marvin Harrison, remember? From last year? Jalen Lloyd.
Don't say that name.
I don't think it's those guys. Those guys are already kind of in the rotation. Now, you might say they need to be more, but that's a different discussion. All right, here we go. 5 worst teams. Here's who sucks.
Here's who sucks. Get ready.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Now, Josh, what tack did you take this week in order to avoid repetition?
I tried to mix kind of what I've done the last 2 weeks, where actual bad teams and
teams that just deserve to be recognized as bad teams.
The comedy of
okay.
First stop the pain train's making this week is in Chicago. Gotta laugh at these Bears.
Bears suck.
They've lost 4 in a row.
Yep.
They're 30th in passing.
Yep.
Many Bears fans have told me how painful it is right now to be a Bears fan because
but they're close.
They're close. They had the expectation,
mm-hmm.
and now the same record as last year hurts.
I just think in a span of 4 weeks, if you lose on a Hail Mary and a blocked field goal on the very last play,
that's right.
That is some pretty big pain. That is very highly concentrated pain in the span of a month.
CJ on the YouTube chat.
Hi, CJ.
I am a Huskers, Bears, and Cubs fan. I get no joy ever, so I have to laugh at them. It's painful.
It's painful.
It's
painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's painful. It's very painful.
I think we got some for that. Jameis, what was that like?
Yeah, just pain. It was pain everywhere.
There you go. Thank you, Jameis. Bears suck. Number 4.
Number 4.
Another week, another Dallas Cowboys blowout in a solo window.
And they're speaking of solo window. Which direction do I want to go with this joke?
I don't know.
The roof fell off or the sun joke from 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
Could have been either one.
I will
missed opportunity. Malcolm Hartzog. Wow. Ball goes right through my hands.
I will regurgitate the stat that everyone else has regurgitated for you because I find it just that funny. Jake Paul has more wins at AT&T Stadium this year than the Dallas Cowboys. They're 0-5 at home.
Sad but true.
They've been blown out.
Yeah, they're always getting smacked at home as well.
It's like they hate their
I don't
owner.
think Houston played well.
No.
Ugh. That's a bad team.
They have the second worst point differential in the NFC.
That's a bad team.
Yeah, third worst in the NFL.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Pain Train's making a double stop in New York right now. First up, the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
GM fired.
Mm-hmm.
Lost another game.
Mm-hmm. Defense sucks.
They lost to the Colts by a point.
Coach got fired. Defense sucks.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is old.
Mm-hmm.
Breece Hall had a good game.
Can't run the ball. Can't score points. Terrible.
Yeah.
It's a complete teardown.
Awful.
Down to the studs, and I said it's a double stop in New York.
Here comes 2. Number 2.
It's the New York Giants. Imagine having Danny Dimes as your quarterback.
Well, you don't have to anymore.
And saying no moss, only to go to a man who goes by the nickname Tommy Cutlets.
I like that guy.
Tommy DeVito.
That's my kind of guy.
Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush on Thanksgiving. Are you ready for this, America? I don't think you are.
I'm excited.
I am
I'm going to nap all the way through it, I think.
I am seriously consider picketing the NFL corporate headquarters in New York.
So Daniel Jones will now be their third string quarterback.
Okay. I did not know that.
Their second string quarterback will be Drew Lock.
Drew
Lock.
Boy, that's 3 clones of each other right there.
Bad deal.
Yeah.
If you give Tommy DeVito enough sample size and you try, like the Giants have tried a little bit around him for the last couple around Daniel Jones. If you give Tommy DeVito the same sample size, you stretch it over 4 seasons now, he probably does exactly the same. If you do Drew Lock, the same thing happens. You're right.
Yeah.
They're exactly the same. Yeah. All replacement level quarterbacks.
Giants lost to the Panthers last time out.
Ouch.
Again, as we say in this segment a lot, you can't lose to the Panthers.
No.
But the Panthers haven't been in this segment for 3 or 4 weeks now.
That's right. They've graduated. Congratulations.
Yeah. So who is the worst team in the National Football League? Let me tell you, friends.
It's not the Bears or the Cowboys?
It is not. They may feel like the worst because you see them the most.
So, number 1.
Number 1.
Okay, Connor, picture it. You play for an NFL team.
Yep.
Sunday morning before your game, an article drops that says, hey, if your team loses today, we're going to fire your coach.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do?
Lose by 50.
Okay, interesting choice. Because
did it work?
The Jacksonville Jaguars had that same scenario happen to them. They went out and I don't know why they thought they would beat the Lions, but they lost 52-6 to the Lions.
Oh, didn't quite get the 50, did you?
Doug Peterson still employed, by the way.
Yep.
But everyone seems to say, all the insiders are saying that job is Bill Belichick's next year.
Is it worse to be fired, or is it worse, or is it worse than that to be in pre-fired, fired purgatory? Because Doug Peterson is fired, but he still has to do the job.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about this last week. He's not getting up in front of the media after the game and getting testy or getting chippy with anybody.
No, he knows he's fired.
Yeah, he's resigned to his fate. He's not fighting for the job.
I think it's probably worse to be pre-fired.
Yeah,
fired purgatory.
Yeah,
because you would literally still have to work. And they're not paying you. You don't get a lump sum to not work. You have to actually work.
Yeah, it's a hard
and then you
job.
have to be responsible for this still. Just fire me. They're probably just trying to get him to quit. That's actually a really good play.
Real good strategy.
That's a smart move. Maybe if we don't fire him long enough and they suck so bad, he'll quit and then we don't have to pay him. Thoughts?
Interesting tactic.
Yeah.
The Jags have on the schedule Texans, Titans, Jets, Raiders, Titans, Colts. I don't think they're going to go on a run or anything, but I find it odd that Bill Belichick would consider a job where the owner is going to tell the new head coach,
he's not going to get the job.
Hey, my son owns a wrestling company, and the Jaguars coach always participates in goofy bits with the wrestlers. How many goofy bits can I put you down for, Bill?
He's doing more social media. He's got that young girlfriend.
That is true. Hey, honey, should I do these goofy wrestling bits? They want me to do goofy wrestling bits. Should I take that job or should I go to Dallas?
I bet she loves the goofy wrestling bits.
Yeah. That's my Bill Belichick. What do you think?
It's actually not bad.
It needs a little workshopping, a little tweaking.
There's no accent there. It's just in the kind of you're almost you're a little close to Little Nicky.
Oh yeah. Hadn't thought of that. Haven't thought of Little Nicky in years.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the bottom 5, the worst teams in the National Football League. We're back with Jacob Bigelow to talk some hoops next on 1620 The Zone.
heating up.
That's the country song, right? Remember when?
Thank you.
Jacob Bigelow.
Yeah. Whenever my open is concocted, throw that in there.
He's on fire.
Jacob Bigelow, Huskers Illustrated, on the Connor Happer Show, on 1620, The Zone.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka. As Jacob Bigelow, Huskers Illustrated, the Stretch Big Pod, joins us now on the 42 Degrees of Soros hotline. Jacob, good afternoon. How are you?
Hello. I am doing all right for a Tuesday. Yeah, it definitely feels like Creighton, Nebraska week, right? Not even Thanksgiving yet, but here we are. Yeah, this feels weird.
I'm glad you have an opinion on this because I do too. It's too early. It's too intermingled with football. Usually we're just past football and then we can kind of adjust our brains for a week and then it's officially basketball when those two teams meet. It's too early. I agree with you.
Yes, it is entirely too early. I hold the theory that Nebraska Creighton should be on the same day as Marquette, Wisconsin every year. They're the same rivalry, just in different states. The red versus blue state school versus Catholic school thing. Those two games, and then Seton Hall, Rutgers. It should all be a triple header on some Fox network because they're all eerily similar rivalries. So
They are. Do you think Creighton and Nebraska will each wear colors on Friday night?
I don't know. It's happened twice in the last handful of years, and both times have been in Lincoln. I would, if Creighton, were to come out and say, I don't know, the Baby Blues, that would not be. You would see no opposition from me if that happened to be the case. I don't know, but I think the women's teams might. They did that a couple years ago. I feel like that matchup at 4 at Stokel could see the color on color, but for the nightcap, I'm kind of rooting for Creighton to wear the Baby Blues.
Okay, we'll see. They just wore them a couple games ago. We'll see if they get them back out on Friday. Nebraska has a long tradition, especially when they're on the road in this series, of wearing horrendous jerseys. So I hope that doesn't continue.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have the regular red script Nebraska look that they've had the last couple years.
Okay, that's good. That's fine.
No black, no random basketball Herbie logo or anything like that. I think it's going to just be the regular road red. They debuted the throwback creams on Sunday in Sioux Falls, but I think it'll be a pretty traditional look on Friday night.
All right, before we look forward, let's look back. This weekend in Sioux Falls, I guess I was just following along sort of tangentially a little bit. What was it for Nebraska that ultimately cost them the game over the weekend in Sioux Falls?
I think they got math problem to death, and I know looking at the final score being a 3-point deficit. St. Mary's made less than 30 shots from the field, but 11 of those, I think they wound up with 26 made field goals, and 11 of the 26 were threes. Nebraska only made 5 threes. They were trading threes for 2s. The shooting from beyond the arc remains a pretty big question for Nebraska, but Nebraska only made 5 threes. They turned it over 5 times. That led to 21, St. Mary's points off the 15 turnovers. And, what really kept Nebraska in it was the free throw game. St. Mary's missed, I think they missed 11 free throws. Nebraska only missed 1. So that was kind of what kept them in it. Because I went into Sunday kind of thinking Nebraska was going to get it handed to them, but they scrapped, they clawed, they fought. But when you look at the numbers, they kind of at the end of the day it was just a math problem that didn't work in their favor.
So big day for Bear K. Is that closer to sort of what you expected him to be? He was a really, really important piece for them in that game. Ultimately, they didn't get the job done, but certainly his best performance so far this year.
Yeah, definitely. After 3 games where he was kind of low energy, low effort, he was quite the opposite on Sunday. He was all over the floor, 15 points, 13 of the 15 in the second half, a couple boards, a couple blocks, a couple steals. He was all over the court. He, even fell over some Husker fans in the front row, chasing after a loose ball at one point. But I think that's definitely, it's good to see him on an upward trajectory because I think they're going to need him. I think he's a candidate to be, the number 2 guy behind Bryce Williams. He's going to be the leading scorer, the straw that stirs the drink. And I think if they're looking for, a viable candidate to assert themselves into that number 2 role, Berke is a pretty good place to start. They think he can be a pretty legitimate weapon. We haven't seen him, do much outside of the paint. I mean, that's where he did most of his damage on Sunday, but I definitely liked what I saw from him, and we saw a little personality from him too, a little juice. So something that the fans could like. There been a lot of questions. Where's the personality going to come from with no Keisei Tominaga? So Berke may have risen to the forefront in a couple different discussions for this year's team.
As you put the puzzle piece together for Nebraska, you start obviously with Bryce Williams. Obviously, I mean, he's a 3-level scorer. He can sort of do it in all these different ways, and that's a really, really valuable piece for them to have. He's their best offensive weapon. Where do you start with? Where do you put him? Where is he getting his points when Nebraska's the most successful? If that question makes sense.
I mean, right now it's him going downhill and getting fouled and going to the rim. He, had 28 points on Sunday. 11 of those 28 were at the free throw line. It was perfect 11 of 11. I've made the comparison to the couple years I was a manager where James Palmer Jr. was doing similar for Nebraska. He was clearly the alpha dog, clearly the best player, and at some points when the offense looked clunky, the best offense was him going downhill and getting to the line. Bryce is also, he's got a propensity for a mid-range pull-up 2. I don't know how Fred Hoiberg feels about those still. He was complimentary of it, after the game on Sunday. But, the most success for him right now is mid-range and closer for Nebraska. And that's, with the matchup defensively, on Friday night, I'm going to be interested to see if Bryce, adjusts, his plan of attack given Kalkbrenner and the way Creighton defends. So it'll be interesting to see the adjustments going into Friday.
Okay, so before we get to the Creighton stuff, let's just talk about Nebraska defensively in a vacuum. It hasn't been great so far this year, and I think some of it is just the ceiling, the sort of ability that they have, that their length and athleticism gives them. Like it puts a cap on them a little bit. How have you felt they've executed to their ability defensively so far this year?
I mean, it's been pretty personnel dependent. I mean, they're definitely still going with the no middle, block off the baseline, double the post, and then scramble out to shooters. That's definitely what they're still going to do. But personnel dependent, I mean, it's definitely, it's still a big question for me. I mean, if they're going to, be running that scheme with Braxton Mia on the floor at 7-1, and he's going to end up, either doubling or having to fly out to shooters, depending on, how the ball comes, into the post. I mean, it can look, not too great at times. And, and this can be the transition to Friday night. I mean, I think the game plan is going to have to be eerily similar to 2 years ago, and you're going to have to execute it to almost perfection, because I'm going to assume they're going to double Ryan Kalkbrenner on almost every touch, and then, you're going to be flying out to shooters, and, it's going to have to be, shots from beyond the arc, and it's definitely high risk, high reward, higher risk, I would say, given, Creighton's propensity and how fast they are and how they play offense. But I mean, the defensive end is definitely, outside of 3-point shooting, it's kind of been my biggest question. Like they've stuck with what they know, what we've seen the last couple of years. But I'd be interested to see a curveball or two, not just on Friday, but going forward.
Yeah. Okay. So now the matchup in general with Creighton, you always, we've gotten a decent sense of both of these teams so far, although not a great sample size. That is another thing that's sort of thrown into the wrench of this, thrown into the pot of this game being so early. It's just you don't quite have exactly a grasp on what either team is exactly yet, but we can go off of history, we can go off of personnel, because a lot of that is experience. How do the two teams match up to you as you look ahead to Friday?
I mean, I think the matchups 1 through 5 are actually quite fascinating. I mean, Nebraska will have a distinct size advantage in the backcourt with, I assume, Worcester and Williams going up against Pop Isaacs and Stephen Ashworth. Defensively for Creighton, I mean, you assume Jemiah Neal is probably going to guard Bryce Williams just based on the size, but then that leaves who's going to have to guard Jawan Gary, like him on the offensive glass. If you have Isaacs or Ashworth picking him up with those assignments, what could that mean for Creighton on the defensive end? Obviously, they're going to be looking to funnel everything into Kalkbrenner. The biggest thing for me that just jumps off the page is Nebraska has been drawing a ton of foul shots. They've been trying to get to the free throw line as much as they can. And Creighton, most notably, does not foul.
Yep.
So it'll be, something's going to have to give That's kind of the big match, the thing that jumped off the page to me statistically. I mean, Nebraska, we've heard Fred Hoiberg say it, ad nauseum, that the water's going to get turned on from beyond the arc at some point. And if shots aren't falling for them on Friday, it could be an all too familiar, refrain when it comes to this series and this matchup.
I think there's an edge. You mentioned Gary there. He's going to be a really big deal. Creighton has not, and they've been playing some really different rotations and a lot of different combinations. So I don't think they're quite like gelling. It's not quite as locked in from a rotation perspective as it has been at this point in previous years. I think because of that, they've lacked a little bit in the rebounding category. Nebraska might be, if they're going big, and if they're trying to go that way, Nebraska is probably best suited to crash the offensive boards, even though it leaves them a little bit vulnerable in transition. There's an area where they can grab a couple extra possessions, I would think, given what we've seen from Creighton so far this year.
Yeah, and I mean, as cliche as it is, I mean, the recipe for Nebraska is to try to make it a street fight in some, way, shape, or form. And we saw on Sunday, I mean, that game against St. Mary's, it felt like a midweek Rutgers game at the rack to start. I mean, it was physical as hell. It was, back and forth, fouls, free throws, all of that. And I mean, it's kind of been the run of the mill, like, how do you beat Creighton? You try to, bring the fight to them, whether you're St. John's, Seton Hall, or some of these other, Big East teams that we've heard about these last couple of years. But, the combination of that and then a similar game plan to, the Greasel team 2 years ago, where their rotations were just so, I mean, they were solid, but I mean, I don't think Creighton's going to miss 33s on Friday nights, even though they haven't quite gotten going. But it's going to have to be a mix of the two, for Nebraska to have a puncher's chance.
Yeah, it is a sort of a funny matchup, just personnel man to man in this game. I guess that's what happens when you're inserting all of these new players from all around the country, but some of the familiar faces will stay the same. Jacob, I know you're busy with pods this week. You got 8 pods coming out this week?
Just 3. I dropped the first of what will be 2 preview pods today. A little reunion with me and Padilla, talking about St. Mary's, Nebraska, and then previewing both games, the women's game on Friday at 4 and the men's game. And we'll have more to come on my pod with John Walker from the Omaha World Herald later in the week. And then a post-game show after Nebraska-Creighton with Jack Mitchell and Caleb Henry. The possibilities there are endless. So we will see how that goes on Friday night, but there will be plenty to come from me the rest of the week. And
then you get the if Nebraska loses and you have Jack on your pod on you're talking with Jack on Friday night, and then Jack is always looking for the great elixir after Nebraska loses a football game and he has to do a podcast. In this case, you go basketball, football, volleyball, right? That's the. I mean, this is a weird order of events for Jack and company during the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I've affectionately labeled this weekend as Husker Heart Attack Weekend, with the basketball doubleheader on Friday and then football, Wisconsin, volleyball, Wisconsin to follow. And, I will not be involved in this, but I will. I feel like the people need to know that there will be a camera on Jack for the entirety of the basketball game on Friday night. And you can find that. And you can find that on the internet and whatever reactions he may have to the Nebraska-Creighton game. And follow along during so if you have a 2-screen setup. I'm sure there will be quite the entertainment value from that.
All right. Well, Jacob, enjoy the rest of your week, my friend. We'll see you on Friday.
No, sounds good. See you Friday. Appreciate the time like always, fellas. Have a good rest of the show.
That is Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated and the Stretch Big Pod and doing some stuff with the I-80 Club.
Always in the club.
If you're doing that, if you're in the I-80 Club, then you have to talk a lot about Creighton and Nebraska.
I-80 rivalry.
Mm-hmm. The women's game will be good too. I don't know what to make of either of those teams so far.
Yeah, very early still.
Creighton's thin, Nebraska's deep, but Creighton knows where their points are coming from. Lauren Jensen, Morgan Molly.
Yeah.
Nebraska doesn't, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. And then, of course, if you have a game like they played on Saturday against USD and make every shot, then it doesn't matter. Nebraska plays again tonight against Alabama A&M. I think Creighton is off this week on the women's side, or did they play tonight too?
I think they're off.
I'll check that real quick.
Because I know they don't play tonight.
They are off, so they won't play till Friday. That'll be fun. It'll be a very fun day around here, and you could hear all of it from Rivalry Day here on 1620 The Zone.
That's right. We got both games back to back Friday.
Women, men,
together,
not in harmony. Red men, blue men, red women, blue women. All of them.
That about covers it.
Yeah, it's everybody. All right, we're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
All right, welcome back for the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com.
Connor, you want a little nugget?
What do you got, Josh?
Oh, I've got one.
I was going to give you a nugget. We'll go nugget for nugget.
Okay, we'll see.
The Nugget Boys.
Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola. I know you were thinking I was going to say Heinrich Harburg there. Says he's spoken with Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who faced Wisconsin last week, about what he saw against the Badgers defense.
Is that interesting?
As a man who guaranteed a bowl game.
Why are people so caught up in this guaranteed a bowl game thing?
I have no idea.
People need to get a life. Are you bothered by the fact that Dylan Raiola said that Nebraska was going to win?
Five-star quarterback thinks his team can win.
But what if the other team makes it bulletin board material? Great, go ahead, put whatever you want on your stupid bulletin board. I don't care. I don't care what's on your bulletin board.
I love it.
Why don't you call all of their moms fat? That would be bulletin board material.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Dylan Raiola should come out tomorrow and be like, well, you know what they always say about Wisconsin, and everybody's like, no. They all have fat moms.
Fat moms. Eating cheese curds all the damn time.
That's what he should say. That's bulletin board material.
All right.
Whatever. You got a fat mom.
Everybody go to the Badger boards. I don't know what it's called.
Yep. Bucky's.
It's probably like whiskey bleeps or something like that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Post about
cheese boys.
Badger fans having fat moms, Badger players having fat moms.
Please do that. Please go on their message boards and talk about them having fat moms.
Let's just mix it up a little.
Here was my nugget. It's about blue collar boxing.
That is also a good nugget.
It's at Baxter Arena.
Pack the Baxter.
Wednesday, November 27th, where local union members will face off in the boxing ring for charity, with proceeds benefiting the Nebraska Center for Workforce Development and Education and United Way of the Midlands. The atmosphere will be electric and the energy will be high and the arena will be rocking. Don't miss out. Head to 1620thezone.com today and check out the contest for a chance to win your way into the event. Once again, that is Blue Collar Boxing Wednesday, November 27th. That would be next Wednesday, Josh. They're gonna pack the Baxter.
They're gonna.
Right. You want to get into some of the Dannen stuff from last night?
Oh my gosh, it's 1:30 and we haven't done that. Yes, please.
Nuggets. So, actually, you know what? We can weave these two topics into one. We could weave these two things into one.
Love a good solid weave.
Give me a little opportunity to put a video up here, Josh.
All right.
Here is Matt Rule yesterday on his various interactions with officials and higher ups in the Big Ten regarding officials.
You know, I sat up here 2 weeks ago and said, hey, no more apologies. Hopefully there's no more apologies. I've taken the tact I've tried to take. I don't know what else to say. I'll just, I sat here this time last year with, talking to the commissioner, the head of officials last year after the last game with apology about, hey, Matt, we blew the instant replay against Iowa. Sorry, you guys are going to a bowl game. I can't tell you how many times this year I've gotten those calls. So, Troy's on it. I mean, I'm going to focus on us just playing better, not worry about those things. But you can't, whether it was the one down by the goal line or that one. We saw last week. We saw BYU and Utah come down to a play like that, right? So, I don't know what else to say other than I'll let Troy handle that, and I'll do the best I can just to make sure we play better football.
Rule was kind of feeling some type of way yesterday. He did that whole bit, and then he talked about he slipped in pretty harsh criticism of the NCAA's waiver process. On Deshaun Singleton.
Really shared a lot about what that was like.
I mean, we didn't talk about that, but he said, paraphrasing all this, he said, hey, look, Deshaun Singleton played one play in the Michigan game last year, and we later found out that Michigan was cheating. Is that game even going to count in a couple years? I don't know. But so I tried to get that year back. He played 4 games. He played 4 games and I play. And the one play was against Michigan. So I felt like it was a pretty good case to the NCAA to try to get the year back, and the NCAA thought otherwise. Whatever.
Pretty revealing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, pretty BS if we're being honest.
I would agree with that.
I'm happy that that Rule says this stuff out loud, and I think he's taking the right tact with it too. Like, all right, we're gonna let Dannen handle this, but hear me now. I don't want to get any freaking calls from Tony Petitti the next day talking about how they blew a call again. This is absurd. This is getting very annoying to me. I don't want to hear from Bill Carollo or whatever that guy is, the head of Big Ten officiating. I don't want to hear from Francois McGillicuddy about these things.
Real person.
Just fix it. Just make it better. And what can Dannen do when he gets the call as well? So now he's dealing with it. It's funneling all through him. Just make it right. Get it better. I don't know what else to do. He said on the radio show last night on the network that we just want to make it so there's no more opportunities to mess these things up, so everyone's safe in the future. He did indeed talk to Tony Petitti yesterday. That's what Dannen said.
Oh.
Elsewhere from Yogurt.
Dannen.
Here's his quote on the South Stadium. He said he confirmed that the South Stadium is definitely coming down. The South Stadium will fall. Quote, I want to win 6 because we're going to start asking people for gifts. The stadium project will cost a lot of money.
Very honest, upfront answer.
I'm
going to have to pass that hat around, and we need to be better, or they're not going to give me any money.
Blunt. They've pushed so many chips into this. Here's Bud. Here is Troy Dannen in a response to Bud Crawford's tweet on Friday night after the big sham of a fight.
Hello.
Bud Crawford claimed that he could sell out Memorial Stadium, and he's right. Quote, since Terrence did that tweet, I have not talked to his representatives. Only a couple fights in U.S. history have drawn around 90,000. But this place is meant to break records. I have not talked to Bud, but we would love to get him here.
Bud did sort of after the Tyson fight, like...
He's like, oh, you want to talk about money grabs? I got you a money grab.
Here's my money grab.
Yeah. It'll be like a cool money grab, though.
Yeah. I'll do something none of y'all have seen.
Like a fun money grab.
Yeah.
Not a stupid money grab. That other one was stupid. And then there has been a lot of scuttlebutt about Nebraska's schedule for 2025 and what that opening game might look like. It was reported by Husker Online on Friday.
This is the worst kept secret in Nebraska sports, right?
So reported on Friday that Nebraska is going to be moving that game, which was originally scheduled for Cincinnati and now is scheduled for Indianapolis, that they'll be moving that game. Nebraska and Cincinnati will be moving that game to Kansas City to start next season. Dannen said, quote, there's a lot of scuttle out there. I would guess, as if he doesn't know, I would guess we will see something this next week about where and possibly when. I anticipate there's going to be some changes. So you go ahead and write that one in.
I'm just a lonely AD here. I don't know much about anything.
Going to Kansas City. I'm excited. That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
Everybody drives down. It'll be like a Royals game on a Sunday on steroids.
Everybody going to Kansas City for lunch.
Can you imagine the Platte City QT after Nebraska plays Cincinnati on a Thursday night to open the season next year? It is going to be hell. Mega hell. Mega hell.
Only if the Huskers lose.
No, even if they win.
Which they will not.
Even if they win, it's mega hell. That gas station is already a complete disaster after the Royals play on a Sunday. Filled to the brim. People traveling up I-29, most of them going to Omaha or Lincoln or their surrounding communities. Could you imagine if Nebraska football was playing? They would have to open up a new QT.
It's the Satterfield revenge game.
They'd have to put Bobby Witt Jr. out there selling gasoline on the side of the road. Come into QT. What a great opportunity for QT. Maybe QT will have a patch on the Huskers uniform to open this season next year.
Red on red. Who says no?
Watch out. Pedro writes in.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. Why doesn't Mr. Yogurt stand up for the team? Just say that the refs in the Big Ten are cheating the Huskers. Sometimes I think I wish they'd be a little bit less diplomatic with their responses. I wish they'd kind of go Utah AD.
Yeah,
and just start ripping everybody.
But then-
This sucks. This needs to get better.
But then what do you think is going to happen?
We'll get made fun of.
You
saw Kip Paul Feinbaum
Yeah.
said he was totally right.
Try winning a game.
Yeah, I'm not getting to a bowl game for the first time in 10 years.
But then it creates a bias within the officiating community.
That's true. You don't want to draw attention to it too much. I suppose you're right, Josh. That's well thought out. I'm not thinking. I just get up there afterwards and start ripping off. Hey, you want this guy's phone number? Call him. Here it is, 402.
Do that. That would be a lot of fun and good for the show and the station.
Pedro also writes in, "Hi guys, are they putting porta potties in the south end zone?"
Oh yeah, wasn't that part of Trev's?
I don't know when this is going to start. I think we're still like multiple years from this even starting. So, but it will happen.
I swear to God, though, if they move me and my family 12 feet, I'm gonna raise hell.
That's right. Get ready. You guys have been telling us for weeks now that you've been dying to not be a fan of this team. Go ahead. They can appreciate that at this time.
Turn in your season tickets.
Back at the polls. Tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone. This week's Zone Deal is to Le Voltaire, a locally owned French restaurant serving the Omaha community for 22 years. This week's Zone Deal, two $25 vouchers, which is $50. You can do math for just $25. That's half off. You can also do math there.
Thank you.
On sale this Friday at 9 at 1620thezone.com. To the polls. Josh.
Connor.
At Happer Show.
That's right.
Was Steven Sipple cooking?
You're damn right.
Yes or other yes? I'm going to go top yes.
Feels a lot of people did.
78% say top yes. And the other poll question was also based off of a Sipple message board post.
I don't know about you. This show moved fast today. I didn't have time.
We zipped through it. Is the umbrella an incredible invention?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
While I don't believe it to be a necessity, I believe it's done more harm or done more good than harm, right? It's not like it's an annoyance. I'm glad it exists for some people. I just don't feel like I need it.
I don't feel like I need it, but also I am fascinated with the
thought process
mechanics of an umbrella. Like it had to start unretractable, and they're like, no, this needs to come down. How do we get it to come down?
And then all of a sudden those chairs were born.
Yeah. So I will vote yes.
Passed down from generations. 65% say yes, the umbrella is an incredible invention. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We are watching college football, the rankings reveal show.
Oh, look, by the way, Villanova hired an athletic director. Now they can fire Kyle and Neptune.
There you go. It's coming, Kyle. 6 o'clock ESPN for the latest playoff rankings. Akron at Kent State, 6 o'clock tonight on CBS Sports Network. Western Michigan at Central Michigan, 6:30 ESPN2. And after the college football rankings show on ESPN at 7 o'clock, Miami of Ohio hosts Northern Illinois.
Action!
Speaking of Kyle and Neptune, his team has a basketball game tonight.
Uh-oh.
It is at 6 o'clock on Peacock. It is against the Penn Quakers.
Perfect.
Will Villanova lose to another Ivy League team?
Hell yeah, they're going down.
8 o'clock on FS1 tonight.
Is this at the... Oh, it's at their...
It's got to be at school, right?
It's at school, yeah. I was thinking it was going to be like at the Palestra or something like that. No, it's on Villanova's home campus.
Okay. Number 6, Purdue is at number 15, Marquette tonight, 8 o'clock FS1. That is at the arena where the Bucks play. Women's basketball tonight, the number 21 Nebraska Cornhuskers host Northern Alabama. Is it North Alabama or Northern
Try
Alabama?
again.
Southern Alabama?
Nope.
South Alabama?
Nope.
Alabama State?
No.
What am I missing?
One more. You're close.
Alabama A&M.
You got it.
Really?
Alabama A&M, yeah.
Why do I have such a typo there?
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of Alabamas.
There are. They love school in Alabama. There's so many of them. 7 o'clock start on Big Ten Plus. The NBA Cup is back. Connor, pool play continues on TNT. The Boston Celtics host the 15-0 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh.
It would be the second time ever a team has started a season 16-0. The only other team to do that, the 15-16 Golden State Warriors.
They had a good record that year.
They sure did. Did they win the cup, though? No and no. That is followed by Thunder at Spurs tonight. Hockey on Hulu. The Wild at the Blues at 7 o'clock. Moneyball's on AMC at 7 o'clock tonight. And Connor, yesterday I said, when was the last time you saw one of these on TV? Well, there's another one tonight. 9 o'clock on NBC. Defying Gravity. The curtain rises on Wicked. A behind-the-scenes look at the movie Wicked. Network programming has never lacked more content where they're just giving you DVD extras.
They do play North Alabama tonight.
That's what I'm like, okay, why does my sheet say North Alabama?
I thought it was Alabama A&M.
You are responsible for speaking at that game. Know the opponent.
Well, I was looking at the wrong rosters. All those players that I was naming for Alabama A&M earlier, I don't need to know about.
You were
them.
practicing.
Oh.
It was great to get an up close and personal look at the prep.
Okay, North Alabama. Sorry, everyone. That's my bad.
Okay.
My B.
Connor doesn't know women.
No, I know women.
Okay.
Just not the directional schools of Alabama. Okay, thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the show today. If you missed anything, you can find it all on our website, 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next.